All right, when we're back. I mean, finally, we've been waiting 30 minutes for chat and viewers to show up. It wasn't like it was my fault that we're starting late. This is good job, guys. You know, we're just Fates United. The show's gotta go on, you know? So sorry, everybody, for the late start. As you can see, I'm wearing headphones. I didn't have headphones before. So I woke up. So, okay, story time real quick. So, you know me, I have a hard time sleeping. I work nights. So literally today, I've only slept 2 hours at a time. So I went to sleep at like 7 or 8. Woke up at like 10. I was like, okay, cool. Went to sleep at 10. Woke up at 12. I was like, okay, cool. Get some water. Fell asleep at 12. Woke up at 2. I was like, okay, cool. Fell asleep at 2. Woke up at 6. But my mind was like, oh, cool. It's just 4. I just read military time wrong. So I'm walking around the house like, yeah, da, 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 da. I'm going to like clean up stuff. I'm going to get wetty. I'm going to move some stuff. And I just look over. I get a call from Rachel. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Hey, Rach, what's up? She goes, are you sleeping? It's 6 o'clock. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm up. I'm great. Let's do this. Let's start Fates. I go to sit down. I'm like, there's no headphones. And I was just like, what's happening right now? I'm like going through my backpack. How do I leave these things at work? I blame Angie and I blame our Skyrim game, which was super fun last night. But that's, anyway, so I had to go drive into work and I drove back for you lovely people and all of you that we could do Fates United. And I also blame the Vindicator. The Vindicator is the reason he stole my headphones and put them back at work. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story. Thank you so much for joining us live. It is Thursday, Fates United. We do this every Thursday on Twitch, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or maybe this is just a transition for next week because today we start at 7. Next week, we're starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just be prepared for that. That's going to happen. Time change next week. So a little transition. I'm just helping you guys out. You're welcome. That's our little story. Pranks United. All this stuff. You know, oh, got you. Okay. So anyways, if you want notifications like, hey, Michael's running into work to grab his headphones, we're going to have some technical difficulties, please follow our socials. We have it on Instagram. We do our old episodes on YouTube. We have our Twitter. Twitter's where I blasted out that I'm going to be late. And I was freaking out. So there's that. And also, well, I'll get back to that. So yeah. This was all my anxious energy just blasting out of me for the past 5 minutes. So guys,
you feel better?
I do. I feel so much better. I feel like I'm being hugged by my headphones. I'm like, I was alone all day. I was really scared and you left me. So I'm feeling very better. So anyways, as we always do, we're going to do some introductions before we start the game. So over to this direction, because I don't know which way it looks for you guys. We'll do the intros.
All right. I think I'm not muted. Hi,
I'm Deely. I hope everybody can hear me better because I got new headphones super last minute as well, so it actually worked out. I draw. I'm on Instagram at Deely Spears, and it's a lot of D&D stuff, mostly Meikai right now because why not? Yeah, I'm not really working on anything other than just drawing a lot. But sometimes I make stories about my puppy, and that's pretty cute. So maybe go watch those because he's cute.
Do it.
Cool. Hi, I'm Rachel. I stream from marqueegaming, which is my husband's channel and mine. I don't know where he is in this thing, but he's the one
Right
with
below
the
you.
fun prince hair. Okay.
See, I make it easy for the couples to, point to each
Oh
other.
yeah,
So.
okay. I'll have to remember that. The new layout was what got me confused. Yeah, I stream art on Mondays at 3:30 CST, and I usually work on D&D commissions and things. And I say D&D commissions because that's normally what I get commissioned for. But sometimes people branch out. I don't know. So yeah, come hang out with me then. And yep, that's it. The end.
And down to the bottom.
Hello, I'm John. You guys know me. I am Deely's husband. I'm still surprised it hasn't said that on my title card
I was
yet,
asleep, dude. I'm sorry.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Headphone ordeal threw
It's
everything
400.
off.
No, it's not.
Title card still just says my name, but that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Anyways, still playing Overwatch tournament. Unfortunately, we lost again last night, but
Aww.
we made it to stage 2. We're in the B rank, and we're probably guaranteed a wild card slot when we get to playoffs. So that's exciting. And yeah, things are going pretty good overall, though. Having lots of fun here tonight, though. I'm excited to have some fun as well. Some Fates United, and hey, there it is. Read the title card.
Wow.
We'll make it happen. The Vindicator strikes again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Teely's. There we go.
Thank you
Teely's
for
husband.
stopping by,
Perfect.
though. We're excited to have you guys here. I'm excited to play. We'll pass it on to Mark.
Hello, everybody.
The whole thing.
I'm Mark of Marquee Gaming. Yeah, we do lots of fun stuff on our channel too. D&D Sundays, Rachel's Art Mondays. It's great times. Other games throughout the week. You can join us for video games. It's a good time. So, I think that's about all. My hair's still growing. So.
Yeah, I feel on that one. I really need a
Update.
haircut.
Hair is
It's still
growing.
It's still going.
Growing.
Someone just redeem in-game action, no haircuts.
Well,
For life.
Oh
Easy.
my gosh.
Easy. I don't want to use it anyways. I don't want to cut it anyways.
So, speaking of Marquee Gaming, as we'll shout out them, they are an amazing channel. Go follow all of their socials and their channel if you haven't. I'm sure all of you guys haven't, so go do that now. But as you know, we also share a Discord with them as well, which is really fun. That's also where you get live updates as well for both of our channels, like being late, etc., etc. So if you want to join, you want to share your content, we have dice makers, we have art drawers, we have story creators, we have poets, we have musicians. It's amazing. I super love our community. It's such a blast there. Just remember, if you're going to join, be positive, add to the community, don't take away, or you will be kicked. So anyways, I think that's it. Maybe I'll just put this on pause. I need to actually go pick up my dice from work as well, so maybe we'll start in about another 30 minutes.
Gosh.
No. We will go ahead and jump into tonight's session. Let me go ahead and get the music going. Oh, there. That's why. Okay. So, oh, hello, Groovy. You're messing up my cameras today. That's cute. Let's do that. Okay. So, as we enter back into our episode 9 of Fates United. I don't know why I'm doing this accent. It's a lot of chaotic energy going on tonight. Fates United, episode 9, results. We find ourselves joining back on our cliffside, with the older gentleman, beard coming down to here, an old, cracked and withered back, a staff that he leans on, but he's sitting on a bench, and this time he's walked over to the edge of the cliffside around this old pillars with different tiles on the ground of the different affinities, vines growing up, cracked rocks on it. He stands over the cliffside, and just from this angle, you can see the golden reflection of New Organia, the now capital of the human side of the country, as Organia has now been split half with the humans on one side, half with the primordials on the other side, with the Centaurium being almost a barrier between the two, a beacon of peace and hope and prosperity, trying to merge the things in between, as the different affinities created by the Ancient One, the sources of magic, light, sun, moon, stars, earth, water, and missing the last one, sky, all are the I love the hashtags. All are the ones, the different sources that power the magic and power and bless the life here in Organia. All the kids start running up, different genasi kids, one with fire hair burning out, shooting different fire bolts, little like motes of fire into the ground, but like stomping them out real quick. An earth genasi with cracked skin who's just like shoving the other one and stomping out the fire. And a air genasi with her hair just all wild flowing behind her, and a similar girl with flowing water hair that seems to be a little younger than her, who seem to be very, very interested in the story. He's walking them over to the cliffside and points out,
well, for our journey to continue, our chosens had just recently come off of the mountain, successfully able to defeat the harpies that had put into threat the other representatives' lives. Some of the first times that our chosens have shown their example of leadership, shown their ability to rise above in those moments, to show their fortitude in times of darkness. Alas, Zachary taking the Nox root, the item that was requested to try and heal his sister, with the Dean's permission, and going up with Bracarius up to the Arcane Tower. They used Bracarius' teleport into New Organia. A quite different view of marble and gold versus the stonework of the Centaurium. Arriving and meeting his good old mentor, if not friend, Arcanist Turin. He was a little surprised, but very proud in the fact that Zachary had found the Nox root so quickly. Taking some time to meet with his sisters, his young two sisters, Iris and Katrina. Katrina being the one who has fallen ill over the past few weeks. Thanks, Moral. Appreciate it. Thanks for showing up, buddy. Anyways, his sister being poisoned, or somewhat cursed or fallen sick, unknown to even the best clerics. Arcanist Turin prepared the paste or the potion from the Nox root, giving it to her, as Zachary had a few moments of respite and time to just talk to his sisters again. Leaving for the night, they hoped and prayed, and for some, stayed up all night wondering if this would even fix the issue, or he would find himself in the morning right back where he started. So, we'll jump back in to Zachary. You wake up in the morning. It's quite an unfamiliar place where you're at. You have to shake your head for a moment. You almost thought you were back at Celestia. But then you remembered you're at the Centaurium. But wait, this isn't the Centaurium. And it all comes flooding back to you that you are in New Organia. And the reason why all of a sudden pops back into your head, and with a jolt,
You're looking around. Bright Carey is snoring to your left. He's still asleep. The sun's still coming up in the day. What do you do?
I'm gonna go and peek in on my sisters, see how they're doing.
I'm turning off chat. Awesome. Okay, so you make your way out of the room. Your room is unguarded. Yours is next to Arcanist's turn. You go around the corner. There's a few maids and squires walking around. You can see people getting like breakfast ready, or like different morning operations done. But you turn the corner and you see the two guards who just look like they've just been switched out. You see two more guards walking away. You go in.
Yeah.
Okay. You open the door quietly. Are you knocking? How are you doing it?
I'll just do a light little tap just in case, and just kind of peek in to make sure.
Okay. You do a small little tap, and as you crack open the door, you hear noises. Almost like crying, maybe, or yells. It's and movement, like beds are being moved around.
Like bad yells, or
It's hard to tell.
okay, I will push the door open.
You fly open the door, and standing before you, and one holding a ball looking over, you see both Iris and Katrina standing there, tossing they're like tossing the ball back and forth and laughing, which is the crying that you heard. It was a little muffled through the door, but they're kind of like moving the beds around, and we're being kids.
So she looks totally good. Back to her old self.
Give me a medicine check. Iris says, Zachary, look, she's awake. The cleric came by.
A 10.
10? From what you can tell, yeah. I mean, she looks tired and maybe a little more malnourished than she was when you first left. But you see this energy back into her and being a little kid again. And even though she's normally quiet, there's this almost like energy that has returned that she hasn't played with Iris for a while. So they're having fun.
I'm just gonna like run over to her and just pick her up and give her a big hug. It's like, Katrina, so glad you're okay.
Thank you. I feel so much better, Zachary. Thank you. Did you do something?
Yeah, Arcanist's turn asked me to get you something that would help you, so.
That was like the worst I've ever felt sick. It was like something was burning. Everything, I just had nightmares every night.
Huh.
But I feel better now. So am I gonna be okay?
I think so.
It means I can go to school? Iris has been telling me about school, and it sounds so exciting.
Yeah. You'll probably be able to go back.
And like she just like looks over at Iris, and like they start kind of jumping excitedly. And just going like, I get to go to school like Zachary does. I'm so excited. There's a knock on the door. It's Arcanist's turn. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to intrude. I'll give you a few more moments, but Zachary, I'd like to talk to you when you're done. He
Okay.
just gently shuts the door. So are you staying?
Yeah.
Can we show you around the castle? Iris kind of steps up. She goes, there's so many cool places. There's like a really neat garden, and there's like statues everywhere, and you can mess with the guards. It's so much fun.
I mean, maybe before I go back, I can take a quick tour, but I gotta go back to school too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's okay. We don't want to stop you. I get it.
But maybe I can come visit again sometime.
Yeah, be amazing. You can spend the weekend with us or something?
Yeah, I mean, there's one of the teachers there brought me here, so it seems like it's pretty easy to just do when we need to.
That'd be amazing. wizard transportation services.
But yeah, Katrina, I have a question about you being sick.
I rubbed her eyes a little bit. Mm-hmm.
They said that it might have happened because you might have gotten into something, or something strange might have happened to you. Do you know of anything that would have happened that the day you got sick or a couple days before?
Not that I can think of. You see her like scrunching her head, trying to remember. She goes, everything's kind of in a blur, but I was just playing ball with a few of the kids last time, and then the ball got away from us, and I had to go get it out of the woods. That's kind of all I remember. Iris.
The woods by your school?
Hmm?
The woods by your school?
No, it was behind our house. So if you remember, Katrina hadn't been going to school yet. She was like a year too young. Iris was the one going to school.
Oh, I thought Katrina was, but she was not too young. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Iris was also old enough to start working too in the afternoon. Yeah.
Okay, so she's not going back to school then.
She's going to school here, is what they're saying.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. So it's at the old house we used to live at. Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like they still were at the orphanage, like almost like a daycare type of thing.
So it's outside there. Okay.
Yeah, that's all I remember. I just remember going into the woods to get the ball back, and then Iris woke me up. I think I like fell asleep out there or something. I don't remember.
Okay. Well, if you remember anything else, make sure you tell Arcanist Turin. It's really important that he knows everything, so that no one else can get sick like you did.
Yeah. Okay. I told him that as well. That's all I remember. I'm sorry.
No, you don't need to be sorry. It's good that you're playing and having a good time.
And she throws you the ball, but like it bounces like halfway there and like rolls to your feet.
I'll do like one of those like throw it up and catch it behind my back things.
Whoa!
Like you can learn that too. Keep practicing, and I'll toss it back to her.
She like drops it, like it hits her in the chest, and she like drops down and grabs it. Yeah. Wow, this Satorium's made you so cool. I want to go there.
I've always been cool, you know that.
And her and like Iris just look at each other like, okay. Yeah, right.
Okay. I'm gonna go talk to Arcanist Turin quick, but I'll say goodbye before I go.
Okay.
Maybe you can do that to her still.
Yeah. All right. You walk out of the room. Arcanist is just standing on the other side of the hallway, just kind of waiting for you. There's a little bit of a smile on his face. So, you doing better?
Seems to be back to herself.
Seem to be. Your suspicions were right. It's whatever this Nox would. Whatever source is going against it, this was enough to break past the defenses and able to allow our cleric to heal her once this had been applied. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite give us all the information we need, but the fact that we needed this Nox root in the first place does give me reason to pause. I believe what you've told me about the darkness, it's either some sort of arcane poison or it's likely a curse. We'll need to know a little bit more information about it to fight against this thing, if you're able to, of course. I'm not trying to ask you to put yourself in danger, but if you come across this or come across any source of the darkness, letting us know or bringing back elements of it would help me study and could greatly help the realm fight against darkness and this new upbringing, this upkeeping of danger lately. I mean, wolves attacking you on the path, harpies up in the mountains. That's a lot. It gives me reason to worry.
But
Um,
go ahead.
do you have any like special container you have that I could put this in to make sure that no one got infected while I was carrying it somewhere?
I wouldn't say special, but here, I think I have something for you. Follow me. And he starts heading back to the to his room. So he hands you a few glass vials and like bottles and puts them in a small little container, almost like I hate to say like a milk container, right? Like when you put the glasses in a milk thing. I was gonna say like a 6-pack container, but you know that too. Cheers. It says, okay, watch closely. And with his wrist right above it, he does a quick flip like this, and you see all of it vanish into nothingness. It's called the wristwatch spell. And he flips it like this, and it returns. It's a small little pocket dimension, almost like a wristwatch, that you can carry a few things with you. And let's see, and he turns around to like this whole study of scrolls and things like that. Let me find something there we go. And he brings out a scroll. Not, I mean, it is a one-time spell if you want, but more of a describing how to use it, how to properly, go ahead about it. Yeah, and basically it's a little cantrip as an action. Just one item, and now that he's put it in a container, kind of counts as one item. You can flick your wrist and do that. I think Scanlan used it in the first campaign, so something very similar to that.
Okay.
Was that a homebrew spell, or is that a legit spell? Do you guys know?
Never heard of that.
I'll look
think
it up
that'd be
later.
a homebrew.
I think it was
point.
a homebrew, but yeah, I
Sounds
will.
cool.
I'll look into it and give you details on it.
Yeah. Well, I will gladly learn that so I can have that available.
Perfect. Yes. Wrist pocket for C1. Okay. Wrist. I'm trying to see if it's online, but anyways, yes, we'll go through it. Wrist pocket. There you go. It's online.
Okay.
I'll send it to you. So wrist pocket guide. It's a wild mount spell. All right. So yeah, he teaches you that, and that's something that you are now able to do with a little bit of study, but you're able to do at will. You might have to carry this back with you and study a little bit. But yeah, so anything 5 pounds or less, you could fit in this little little like side dimension thing. So
Sounds good.
yep. Actually, no. Okay, I'm gonna change this up a little bit. So this is a 2nd level spell. I'm gonna say as a cantrip, you can do 1 pound or less.
Okay. So small samples then.
Yeah. So right now, just to keep it on task, and then as a 2nd level, you can do up to 5 pounds.
Okay.
Awesome. Nerds. Sorry guys, just get into the mechanics of this one. So, anyways. So, Zachary, perchance, have you been able to translate those items that I gave you?
Not yet. It's been a busy weekend, but
Understand.
hopefully soon there will be time.
Of course. There's that one, especially the one that's Celestial, I'm quite interested in. I do have a few more if you were interested. They do relate to darkness if you want to help me in my studies. It's up to you. I don't want to put too much on your plate.
Yeah, I can take a list and do them as soon as I can.
Fantastic. And he reaches over and there's about 3 scrolls sitting there. He puts them up in a little bag and hands them to you. Thank you so much. Takes forever to find a good translator around here, and half the time it doesn't make sense when they hand it back. So, you're my favorite one. How are you doing, by the way? I know it's been stressful, but how's the Centaurian been?
I don't know. Just ready to learn, I guess, and get stronger.
Which means do you hope to be stronger in?
Protecting and helping people.
It's a great value to strive for. Not many people think of that way. Most people think of power or knowledge, offensive weapons.
Yeah.
How about the rest of the representatives? Are you getting along with Alana, all right? Not being too mean to you?
I think we're okay.
She's quite rough around the edges at first. She has a heart of gold. I've spent many years around her, raising her. I was friends with her father. She shares the same tenacity and... what's the word? Tenacity and passion as her father. But they also did a lot of good things for the realm as well. That can't be forgotten and looked away to. I think the duo of you two, if you get along, could do a lot of good things.
Yeah, maybe. Do you know a lot of people at the Centaurium?
Not really. Just in passing. I know Bricarius pretty well. I've met Dean Leon a few times, but that's about it. A few of the other ones have come through here on different council reasons, or I do know Inquisitor Varus pretty decently. He gives me a lot of work.
Have you ever heard the name Kellum before?
Yeah, that was Bricarius's research aid, or not aid, but partner, right? Poor thing, what happened to him? Heard he was fell in an accident while out on one of their archaeologist expositions. Dangerous things working in rocks and everything.
Yeah,
Why? Why so you ask?
I just saw his name in a book, and I was curious if you knew of him.
Interesting. What book was this?
It's just a book I found. Research notes, it looked like. So.
Amazing. Well, yeah, I don't. Might be something to get back to his family if you could find them. I heard they've just left. Haven't heard any word or anything going on. Bricarius has been quite short with me, actually.
Was it Bricarius who told you about Kellum's accident?
It was, yes.
That's too bad. Yeah.
They were very close, almost brothers and kin, if you would. But I didn't know Kellum too well myself, but the items he brought back, the information that they gave us, opened up many avenues of knowledge. I know over in, not Ravnica, shoot, Benali, they are a lot of different forms of study and technology have been opened up directly from his studies. So his effect has been, both of their effects have been felt all around. It's quite amazing.
Okay.
So you're more than welcome to stay here as long as you want, by the way. I'm sure you've missed your sisters quite tremendously.
Yeah, I'll probably go on a tour with them real quick before I go back. But
Of course. Anytime you're ready, I will be more than happy to send them back.
they told you about the thing at the school or at the house, though, right? What happened to Katrina?
Right. What specifically?
Just how she was playing out by the woods and then she somehow fell asleep after trying to get a ball. That's not normal.
Yes, that worries me. And that's why I have been more focused on nefarious reasons. I don't know if she came across some sort of animal, plant, something worse. Something did this to on purpose.
Well, keep them away from the woods, please.
Of course, there's not many woods around here.
That's
We don't
good.
really let them be on the walls.
That's good.
You're safe here for now. Or at least from anything outside the walls. Don't know of anyone inside the walls, but that's why we keep the guards at the door.
And the queen's not here, so who's there to assassinate, right?
He looks a little awkward at that, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna go hang out with
There
him.
is the steward, but yeah, I don't think he'd allow that. Quite the militaristic man, the steward.
Okay, thanks. I'll let you know when I'm ready to go back.
Fantastic. Thank you, Zachary. Very much. And you can see that he's actually kept about half of the Nox root that's left over for study purposes.
Okay.
That they seem to be boiling and different aspects of them. Like one's like rotating in this like arcane circle, and he's definitely full on studying all of this. That's like his great surprise. Zach just jumps up on the danger list. Suspect number 1. He was talking about assassinating him years ago. Yeah. So perfect. You spend so you're gonna spend the rest of the day just kind of doing on a tour, or how long are you going with him?
Probably just do a tour of the morning and then get back to the school in case, because I think I had classes today, so I probably should try to get back there. Make some effort.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, they get really excited. They all get dressed. You guys are brought breakfast and are able to go around and tour the whole place. It's quite beautiful. There's the archives here that are huge. Just sprawling large hallways that branch off in many different directions. Even the tour that they give you with the guards' help, kind of like as an escort, showing them where the school is and where all the kids stay, and kind of they are the nobility of the city schools. It's a lot of higher end people that are very stuffy walking around, and they even pass by the larger court, different pillars and a garden and statuettes, and you can see many of them almost from any direction. You can see the large statue of Alana's father, who, if you remember, had been a chosen. So he's seen as this man standing with a spear and a large angelic wings coming from the statue. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Ruined, that's so nice of you. And thank you so much, Amara, for the follow. Ruinedkeep, you are a VIP. But as you continue on this, is there anything specific here that you were wanting to see on the tour, or is it just kind of a generic look around?
I really don't care about the tour. I'm more hang out with my sisters.
Yeah,
So
figured. Awesome. Yeah, so you get to spend as much time as you want. We'll go ahead and bounce around to our other 3 for the morning. So are you planning on kind of heading back right as like classes would have started normally? Let's say you got there pretty early. Or no, yeah, you got there yesterday. You probably got up pretty early, got a few hours. You can hang out with them.
yeah, that's fine.
All right, as we jump to the other 3, back of the Centaurium, Anais, you feel the sunlight hitting you as a little droplet of drool falls off your chin onto the notes that you're waiting there, and the tower is silent and quiet. Meikai and Kaharanji, you both wake up very well rested. Dreams seem to fade away if you had any. But you wake up and there's, a little bit of activity in the residence hall as everyone's kind of getting up ready for the day. There's people going for breakfast at different times, some kind of getting dressed. There's Jawarston reading his book. Everyone's kind of just doing their own thing. It seems that the routine of the Centaurium is starting to settle in a little bit. You guys want to do anything before Zachary returns?
Oh, did you tell me? I forgot to ask you earlier. Is there anything I found out specifically when I was like kind of
Precarious
digging
research.
through his notes? Yeah.
Nothing specifically that really stood out to you. He has been researching more of
Are you talking about recent or former research? Because there's a lot of notes from like matching his research up to your father's and trying to glean details and match between them. There doesn't really seem to be anything found there, though he has circled that name.
Which name?
Let me get to it. Varro keeps on coming to mind, but it's not. It's the other name that was in the research note.
Oh, the guy her dad met with or something.
Let me get to him.
Is it with a D?
I thought it was like Dragar, but let me check. Should have them here.
Dravar.
Dravar. Yeah, there you go.
Dravar.
Yep. Dravar. He circles that, and you seem to. He's like written down as his notes as well. So it seems to be something that he is following up on, or there's a question mark next to it, and he goes, like Lytus, or is it council, which tribe? So there definitely seems to be some sort of recognition there, but he's trying to follow that thread.
Okay.
The rest of that is just matching up his archaeology notes, his timeline to your father's. And like one of the big circles is writing about the cat's eye when he found that, the one that you're actually wearing now. So that was kind of the big revelation, them getting into their research into like possible sources of using that to empower magic, and maybe this would be an answer for the drought. That was kind of like their big breakthrough there that they thought could be using then. As far as recently, his research seems to have quickly and most recently, and he hasn't gotten much into it, changed over to the sky affinity and the history of chosens and their legacies, and seems to be trying to just wrap his mind around everything. It's probably nothing you haven't already found out, but more him just understanding what this means and trying to see how it played out for other people in the past. And the few things that you glean is that it seems that the historical memory of people, the ones that were the chosen, beyond that last generation, seem to be slowly forgotten or written off. Or it's like there's no names being used, but rather titles. It's very interesting. That's probably something that stands out to you. Whereas there's
Do they have
names,
different titles every time, or is it like the same title?
They seem to have different titles.
Okay.
So almost like a moniker that distinguishes them who they are as this legendary chosen, but the actual person, where their origin from, who they came, like mainly the information that you could find is maybe what region at the time, and maybe the race and things like that. But there's who they were, what they were about. There's very little information, or at least in these books. And they write on that too. That it almost seems to be this ongoing thing that the more history goes, and especially through the war, a lot of this history seems to be slowly being forgotten throughout the ages.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, I think mostly I would just be maybe waiting, I guess, till the last minute. I was gonna say, I still am not sure if I want to use these stones that Bri gave me to like communicate, because I just don't know yet, and I keep forgetting to ask. So I'm like looking around the office, his little office, and like realizing no one's here yet. And I like look down at the stone, and then I go to like an open window, and I just like look outside and stare at the sky. And then finally I'm gonna be like, in my head, can I talk to other people in my head, or is that cheating? And I'm just gonna stare at the sky waiting for some sort of response.
Roll me a wisdom check.
Okay. 18.
18. It's a bright sunny day. Few clouds. There's still that like storm cloud on the distant horizon that just seems to like stay. It's been here this whole time, but the rest of the sky will clear at different times. You're just staring at it, waiting for a voice, waiting for an answer.
Yeah.
And you swear you see a slight crackle of lightning, but you're not sure.
I don't know if that means yes or no anyway. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, since I don't know still, I'm just gonna sit and wait until the very last possible minute before classes start. And if classes start, then I will just go to class. But I'm waiting. I won't even eat. I'm just gonna wait to see if they come back.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, so you're waiting up in the tower. Your stomach gurgles a few times out of hunger.
I'm used to it. I can ignore that.
You're used to it. All right, Meikai, Kahu, anything specific you guys are doing?
Well, Kahu gets up because he was like up on the plateau.
That's right.
He's
That's
gonna-
right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You fell asleep there. Forgot about
He's
that.
gonna realize food never got brought to him and he's starving, and so now he's got to eat enough for both dinner and breakfast.
Yeah, you're even
so-
hungrier. So you head your way back down. The neck pains are killing you as you fell asleep up there. But at the same time, it was kind of nice to sleep outside. It kind of reminds you back being at home or the different times you've been in war. I mean, had to find like a shelter that was not a shelter. And you look around, and for a moment you're sitting there and you're very proud of this cleaning up the pillars here and the restoration you brought to it, something that has been lost to time and seems to have been forgotten from many people's minds. So looking back for a second, again, you see that glint of sunlight, and you can see just in the distance New Organia. The tree line hasn't quite gone up the mountain to cover it. You just see one of the towers and the sun hitting the glint off of it. And again, it seems to be shining off the different affinity gemstones that are in these tiles, as the actual symbols are put in there with different gemstones. And it's beautiful now. It's very peaceful. And you feel very tranquil as you could hear the water hitting the cliffside and the wind hitting your face and the sun coming down. It's almost like all the different affinities converging in one place. It's
I just
beautiful.
kind of take a nice big deep breath and kind of talk to myself, just like, I'll be back. And I head out.
Awesome. You walk, heading back towards the main place. Are you heading back to your room first or directly to the dining hall?
I'll run to my room because it's a good way for exercising, and then run myself over to the dining hall.
There's a plate of cold food in your room that Ergon left there.
I will eat it if it's still good
Still
enough
edible.
as I
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
to the dining hall.
Mm-hmm. It's still edible. It's just cold. You know, like it's not as nice. You kind of hoping that the soup would be warm, but like this thick, creamy soup. It's just cold. It's still good though.
Hey, food is food. I've had cold
Food
food
is
before.
food. There you go. Yeah, I like that pause. Like, Kahu would.
It was such a long pause too. It was perfect.
Yeah. But you head way back. Meikai, are you still in the residence hall or are you over in the dining hall already?
I think I would have gotten up after after a little bit and gone to the dining hall and probably seen if the moon was out. I don't know. If sometimes you can still see it
Sure. Give me a perception
on the other
check.
side. Perceive the moon.
Perceive the moon.
Oh, that is 10.
10, you kind of like, you're checking outside real quick. It might be, but the trees are kind of really covering the majority of the sky, and whatever portions of the sky you can see, there's nothing there.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I'll just. I need to stop looking at the comments.
It's a stack of
I'm
plates
gonna go to
everywhere.
the dining hall.
Perfect. All right, so you head there, and about this time you can see Kahu walking in as well. There is I don't have my dice on me right now. You see Lady Nian sitting there talking to Iscaris, the one that you had met back on your episode 0. Those are the only 2 staff that are sitting here, and then in the dining hall is Ergon, Carlos, and Anir. The rest kind of seem to be either have already came and gone or are out and about. You're not quite sure.
Okay. Good morning, Kahu.
Morning,
Another
Makai.
pause.
Good to see you.
Another long pause.
Food or talk? Food or talk?
Food and talk.
I'm sorry. Usually don't go that long without food, so my mind's lagging a little. We'll get it there, though.
Never get in a position where you have to go without food for a long time.
Oh, I've had to do it before. It's not great. Although technically I have this hardtack. Don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's terrible.
Mm-mm.
It's like a salty, dry biscuit. It's terrible. It's about as good as it sounds.
I've never had anything like that. It's either, well, kind of. Maybe it was. I got a lot of free handouts when I was traveling, so I've kind of tried to forget those days.
That's fair. You ready to get some food now?
Yeah. Has like a tiny little plate.
I think you need more food than that.
No, this fills me up.
How are you gonna... that's probably why you're short.
Okay. That's not why I'm short. I ate my greens. You're very tall. Your stomach is probably as big as my head. My stomach is probably like, it's a lot smaller.
Quite possibly.
Carlos. Huh?
I was gonna say, how was your evening?
Oh, it was good. Forget the Carlos thing. He's still talking to me.
All right.
No. What? I'm right here.
Oh, hey, you was it? No, all right. Okay.
Oh, never mind. It was good. I just enjoyed being outside. And it was nice.
Feeling better after what happened yesterday?
Yeah. Again, I just kind of... I don't really know what to make of all of this, so... I kind of needed to just do some meditating. What did you do?
Meditated.
Oh. Well, there you go.
But it was relaxing and it was needed. Did some cleaning. Felt good. I don't know if
Do you
for meditation?
for meditation?
It helps.
Yeah, my mother did it a lot. And mostly, if I meditate, I usually play my instrument or paint. So
I did hear some beautiful music last night.
Oh, that's probably me, or unless somebody else was playing too. I was over by the woods area.
May have been you. Wasn't an instrument I'd heard before.
Yeah. Usually they're supposed to sound better, but I had to make mine from bits and pieces that I found, and kind of...
You know I'm complimenting you right now that it sounded good. You don't have to say that it's terrible.
I'm not used to compliments. I'm sorry. Thank you.
I like
for
put a
blush
bigger
savings
thing on her
there.
plate, like a piece of food on her plate that like is bigger than the plate. I still feel like she needs more food than what the plate can hold.
Rach. Yeah. I'm not used to compliments. But thank you. And I will do my best to eat this. It is a lot more food than I'm used to.
Well, we're about to be starting our training, so I imagine not all of it's going to be just mind training.
I'm a person who kind of like eats throughout the day. You know, like I always have like little snacks in a bag or something.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time too. We're pretty much the same.
Yes, but I'm not, what, 6, 11, whatever you are.
Not that tall. You think I'm a Goliath?
No.
By the way, that's like a short Goliath. That's like, anyways.
Hey, there's nothing wrong about being a Goliath. You hear Ergon
I'm not
just like
saying
from
that. You
from a
said you thought I
table.
was 6'11".
He just like turns his back to y'all and just keeps on eating.
Whatever, I'm not that chubby anyway.
I just mean that tieflings and Hanasuka were not all as short as me. I'm actually short for my race, but we don't get as tall as you.
You're short for your race because you didn't eat enough. I see what's going on here.
I'm short for my race because my parents are short. Genetics.
Did they not eat enough either then?
Maybe not. We drank a lot of wine and sake and that. Maybe that's our problem. Carlas.
Oh, yeah, it's me. Hello.
How's your
One
hang?
second, Ergon. She's interrupting. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back with the story. Yes.
How's your head?
Oh, yeah, my
Is it-
head's doing great. The little concussion you guys gave me, it's a bit well. Went for a swim. Feel great, you know. Ready for the classes for today.
That's good. Don't drink that much.
Oh,
Again.
yeah. It's not happened again, not for a long time. It was just like a little bucket list thing. You know, you just gotta get out there, live the world. You know, grab the hook by the bait. You know, that's what we always say. A little fish joke for you.
I was about to say, is that the little fish joke? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're making fun of me there.
I'm catching on.
Another fish joke.
Oh my gosh. You have me reeling.
Hey, I like you. Yeah, you're a very punny girl.
Alright, that's enough lines.
It's another one.
You two need to reel it in.
Well, you can't see the thing about a pun wall. You can't reuse it, but you can throw it back out for bait. Try and get him to keep on going. You know what I mean? All right. So yeah, Ergon's cringing his face over here. I'm gonna go back. I was mid of a story with him. If you don't mind. Sorry. I'm just gonna dive right back into that one.
Yeah.
There was another one. Just making sure.
Kahu, do you see that person? And I'm gonna point to Ascarius.
Ah, yes, the darkness guy.
Yes. Comments. Flipping that over.
Scarius looks over to you and you make eye contact and the lightning bolt scar just burns for a second. Anyways.
No more copyright.
Right. Sorry. Can't steal too much from Hogwarts. Yeah.
Yeah. Is Ascarius just like, does he just always look shady, or did he just
yeah.
look shady?
Resting shade
Yeah.
face for sure.
Yeah, okay.
Just pale.
Hashtag resting
He seems to
shade
be
face.
leaning in, asking something of her. Just seems to be in one of these.
Help. Keep an eye on him. He's the one who works for the King of Hanasuka. I'm whispering this really low too. I just get a really weird vibe, and I feel like he's keeping an eye on me for some reason.
He looks so
It's weird.
I'm sure it's fine. And then you hear in your mind, I'll definitely keep an eye out.
Okay.
But it's
I
just in
say-
your head. You don't even hear it in your ears or anything.
Oh, okay. It's just there.
Up with her.
Stormlord, is that you?
He's talking to everyone.
Praise the storm.
Eat your veggies.
I appreciate it. Are we going to train after this? I thought we have classes. Wait. Does somebody
Well,
have a syllabus?
That's a good question. Let's eat first and then go find it.
Okay. And look for Ananias. Zach's probably with his family, I imagine. Or he's in his room still reading.
Yeah. We should probably be quick about eating too, so let me grab my other 3 plates real quick and then we'll go.
I'm like already done.
Yeah, and you guys know you have about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours until the classes would start. So no rush.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be like it's about 8 o'clock. Class start at 10. Pretty laid back here. First couple days.
We gotta go find the syllabuses though. Like, what classes are there? Like, how do we decide what we could do? Kind of missed day one.
So it's kind of announced. Well, it was going to happen yesterday that everyone's meeting with Lady Lexus first. That everyone's all in one class as it starts, and then it'll be broken off into different categories from there.
Do I know if Ascarius is a teacher?
You know he's here. You haven't asked the question to anybody specifically. And you haven't seen the syllabus yet.
I'm gonna do something stupid. I'm gonna walk over to him.
Yes, how can I help you?
Are you a teacher here, or are you watching me?
Why do you think I would waste my time watching you?
I don't know, because you got paid for it.
My job with you, the King of Hanasuka, is over. I am just an ambassador for many different kingdoms.
I need to Raya roll him.
I am here on council with the Dean as a professor.
16
16?
for insight.
Kind of hard to tell. You never dealt with someone whose like eyes kind of like seem to glimmer like a fire. His hair's dark, greasy, lining his face. Very much has that Snape feel from Harry Potter, but seems to be not really hiding anything from you. Just annoyed that a kid has come up to him and questioned him for spying on her.
Well, I just wanted to know. All right.
Well, then now you know.
I turn away and walk away.
Sorry for that intrusion. You may continue, lady.
And then they go back to their conversation.
What are they talking about? Can I, like, listen in as I'm...
You can't really hear them from where you
walking back?
were. Do you want to try and listen as you're walking away? Like,
Yeah.
wait?
Yeah. Softening my footsteps just a touch.
All right, give me a perception check.
18. That's not bad.
They do not notice you listening in, because that would have gone poorly.
Just like right next to him.
Ronald Weasley. It's Leviosa.
Anyways, as she continues, they are speaking generically about the reason why the Inquisitors are not here anymore. And you get the last few words is, "Oh yeah, they were sent south to go explore," and then it kind of fades off as you're walking away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I didn't make any grand motion to like stop and like listen. It
exactly.
was, yeah.
That's
okay,
what I was saying. Like,
cool.
you hear the first kind of line, and then you kind of walk out of hearing distance as they're not being very loud about it, but having a one-on-one conversation. So.
Okay.
But at
And
the
I'll
same
go
time,
and
it doesn't
sit
really
back
seem
down.
like they're being overly private either. Like, it was enough for you to hear as you're walking away. It's just you.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
It's not like they're going,
up on the 3rd floor with the 3-headed dog. You need this to get past it. You know, nothing like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll
That was
just go
Harry
and sit
Potter
back
night,
down.
man. Cool. All right, so you guys are getting ready for classes for the day. Anything else in particular you're doing? You know, Anais is waiting for the return of Bricarius and Zach. Zach's finishing up his tour. What about you two?
I mean, if we have time still in the morning,
Sure.
Cock is going to do his normal run of heading to the place and maybe exercising. But before he starts exercising, he's going to see if the forge guy is in. And seeing if he can start
Yeah.
doing something there for an hour or so before everything starts up.
Sure. That is Garrick Stone. Is that who you're looking for?
Yes.
Yeah, you head over there, kind of doing your morning routine and all that. He is out back with his anvil, kind of like his setup. It's a lot of the stuff at the back of the armory is just resources, material, old weapons, and then there's like a door going out to that back clearing, and that's where he has his stuff set up. And it kind of seems that he's already going for the day, kind of getting his materials prepped. He's got a few broken swords there, and kind of getting ready to go.
I know I mentioned it yesterday. Do you mind if I kind of shadow and help out for a little bit before classes start?
Gahu, right?
Yes.
Yeah. As long as you don't really get in the way and don't slow me down, I don't mind if you shadow and learn as anything you want. You trying to get something out of me, or you just trying to learn?
I'm trying to learn.
Kind of like spits down into this little bucket he has got there. He goes, "All right, here, take this bucket and go fill it up with water. I'm gonna start prepping the different forges, get them hot enough so we can melt down the metal. How's that?"
Sounds good. I'm gonna go run and fill up the bucket.
Are you running like there and back?
On my
Just
way
like...
back.
Awesome. He's like just getting back with getting like the forges starting to go and all this, and he goes, "Well, damn, you're an overachiever, aren't you? Do you just run everywhere you go?"
If I feel like I'm gonna be sitting all day, yes.
All right. Me, I'm more of a laid back kind of guy. You know, as you can see with the rocks, it just kind of let things happen when they happen, you know. But, all right. Go ahead and get the rest of this forge going. I'm just fixing up old weapons. It's kind of boring. You know, if people bring me some nice material, I like to make new stuff for people, but they're just working with old stuff right now.
I'll keep that in mind. I guess
There's a good quarry over there on the other side of Rosewood that it's got some good stuff in it, but it sounds like it's been overran a few by some creatures and monsters that Rosewood can't quite handle themselves. But just putting that out there, if you want to clear out the quarry, not only would Rosewood be maybe appreciative, maybe you can find someone to give you some coin for it. You bring me back some more, I can make y'all some mighty fine weapons if you don't say so myself.
I would appreciate that. Be a good chance for me to learn how everything works.
For sure. I'd even let you walk through making one of those spear things of yours.
That sounds like a good thing to try out. I'm talking to him as I'm trying to light the fire.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. It's not hard. He's got like kind of everything already prepped. But they're kind of like some old embers that you kind of like flare up and get going on the anvil. Things like that. Are you go ahead and give me give me both a dexterity check and an intelligence check to see like this whole time how well you're able to kind of follow along with him and also pick up the process.
Dexterity check is at 18.
Let's keep walking, boy.
Dog. Oh, unfortunate. And a 1 on my intelligence check.
So everything he says, you can do. Like, yeah, oh yeah, I'll go get water, and then like, yeah, I'll light this up, and then you're just kind of standing there being like, I don't get how this works yet. Like, he seems to just be like plunging the sword in and gets heated up, and like he's melting down all the metals, and he just the process. He's almost doing it out of like secondhand knowledge, and not even like walking you through piece by piece. It's more just like you're the assistant at the moment. So it's engaging, it's amazing. You're like, wow, this is really cool, I really want to learn this. But like if he wasn't there, you'd be like, okay.
It's day 1 of learning something.
Exactly. It's very much that like overwhelming, like, oh, will I ever learn this kind of feel? Yeah, for sure. But yeah, you can spend the rest of the time doing that. He's it probably takes the rest of the time to melt down and let cool the metals for this, and they are working on, he's got like different casts already formed for different weapons, so he's probably has you like going through and finding the correct cast to get ready to pour this metal into. So it's pretty much all you really get through today. As you can tell, I watched a lot of blacksmithing stuff. I love it. Because of Critical Role, actually. But yeah. So it's about this time now that Mekai, what were you doing after all this? After breakfast and Kahu's going to blacksmith?
I was thinking about asking to train, but I think instead I'm just gonna kind of go back to my room, hang out with the dog, and maybe like prepare like classroom type stuff.
You're that kid. Okay.
I guess so. I don't know. Like, I just make sure that I have like stuff on me and my dagger and
Always have a weapon on me.
and get well, I was already dressed, but kind of just like prepare mentally to be around a bunch of people. I'm sure Zach knows this feeling too. But just like, okay, class, I guess. And hang out and teach the puppy some tricks.
Perfect. I like it. Awesome. So you guys kind of get prepped mentally, physically, kind of doing different stuff. Kahu, are you breaking off to shower at all before heading straight, or are you just going straight to classes after this?
I would clean up a little bit. I know what it's like to be stinky in a room.
Yeah, you got a good little sheen of sweat going, and a little aura of blacksmithing and soot going on. So I'm sure you go ahead and clean up a bit. Zachary, you finish up with your sisters. Thank you so much. Can you stay? I mean, we can show you even more, and maybe we can go and like we can have lunch together, and like maybe we can show you the city more.
It's okay. We'll do it another time. A few more days.
Okay. Like Katrina looks a little like still more excited that like she gets to now go to school with Iris, and Iris just more like, okay, fine. If I do good in school, you come visit for the weekend.
I'll see what I can do.
And they both kind of like run in and give you like a really, really big hug.
Yeah, I'll give both a hug and a kiss on the top of the head. And...
the bestest of big brothers.
And then I'll tell Iris, like, I'm going away to help you guys, and you need to be here to help Katrina too. Okay? Keep an eye on her.
Well, I promise. We're gonna stay in the walls. We're not going to the woods. And Katrina's like, hey.
Yeah, no more woods.
Wasn't
It's
on
not safe.
purpose.
Yeah. It's not safe anymore out there. Be careful.
And you hand them back to the guards, who kind of nod at you and begin to escort them to get ready, and then head off to school for the day. Arcanist, Torin, and Bricarius are sitting there. They were discussing different things. He goes, so really, you saying you met a chosen? That is amazing. Tell me more. Okay, what was it? What was the responsibilities of being it? I mean, that must have been quite just crazy for you to know a chosen, right? How did you feel about that? What did you do exactly about that? And Arcanist is just this like, as you're walking up, Zachary, I mean,
they're like everybody else. They put on their pants left and right, but obviously they were able to make much more of a difference in the world and stuff. Oh, Zachary, thank you. Hey, Zachary, welcome back. Are you ready to go? Oh, is it that time already? Oh no. He seems to be a little like talked out from Vicarious at this point.
All right.
So anything else I can do for you before you leave?
I think that's it, and I'll try the wrist thing again. I think I'm working on this too.
Very good. I'm impressed. All right. It's a little wobbly at the end. Make sure to secure that, but keep your wrist straight. All right. You got it. He pulls you aside just for a second. He goes, Lady Leota, I haven't heard word from her. Is she over there? She's doing all right?
I think they had to go do some sort of mission.
Interesting. All right. So none of the Inquisitors are there.
Why is that interesting?
Normally she tells me these things, or, you know, reaches out for resources or knowledge on where they're going. Anyways, you know, Inquisitor affairs. I'm sure it's important. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay, yeah.
Just, let me know when she gets back if I don't hear from her, okay?
Can I tell Bri to let you know? I don't really have a way to do it myself right now.
Sure. He's dubiously trustful, yes. I think he'll be okay. Just be careful what you say to him. He's quite the blabbermouth.
Okay.
Fantastic. All right, so you ready? Anything else?
Yeah. Just want to thank you for everything you did for my sisters. I really appreciate it.
It is my honor and my pleasure. They are great girls. You are quite an amazing young man. You have quite the potential, and I do this willfully. I will keep them safe, don't worry.
Thank you.
Now, go get over there. Become the man you want to be.
All right, I'll take off.
Vicarious is kind of like, oh, this is amazing, isn't it? I just definitely love it here. I haven't been over here much often, but they went on a tour with you? Oh, you'll have to send me on a tour next time. Oh, right, so you want to go back. All right, let's go. And you guys head back into the room, and there's the old crotchety man who's now like seemingly like taking over the shift again. He goes, see, now that's how you do it. Arcanist Toon announced that you want to use the teleportation circle. It is now yours. Vicarious young man, always getting into trouble. Sorry, sir. I apologize. It's next time I'll make my announcement. Go, 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 go. And you guys step on the teleportation circle. He makes his few motions and casts it. And again, you're a little bit more prepared for it, but it's almost like a hook at the back of your navel. And you are now back in the tower as you know, kind of come back to. Well, all right. Go off, get some food, and get ready for class, okay? We have a good day. Big day starting today.
Okay, sounds good. Sorry.
Uh-oh. What's up?
Just imagining a hook at the back of my navel with my
Yeah,
belly
man.
button.
Yeah, dude. Sorry, Harry
It's,
Potter. That's a lot.
weird
It's a,
feeling.
Is that how Harry Potter does
yeah,
it?
it's the Harry Potter feel, so it's a whole port key thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. I stole it from them. I've been reading Harry Potter. Leave me alone.
Okay.
Did I hear them?
Perception check.
Okay. I have a 17 passive, if that helps you any.
Well, you're listening. Perception check.
I got a 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in case you roll a 1. No, it's been quiet. You're so ingrained you're so involved in the research that you miss them coming back.
That seems about right, though.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. But you do now hear when Bright Carries opens the door. Oh, Nice. You're still here.
Yeah, she's like sitting in his chair. She probably made
Like
herself
going
kinda
through his
comfy.
research. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feet up on the thing. Or spear out, just like twirling it.
It's like spears on the desk and like.
It's
yeah,
my
she's, like,
place
leaning
now.
over
I'm the
actively. Yeah.
captain.
Yeah, she probably like looks up, like jumps a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to scare you. I mean, you are in my place, but... Did you find anything in the research? He goes and sits on the other side of you. And like not in a like, oh, I've caught you, but more of a like curious, like anything stand out?
Yeah.
He trusts you. Yeah. I mean, it's your father's research.
I'm trying to think.
Engrange, totally be a word. It should.
So it seems like there's almost like two piles of research.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm,
Yep.
it's like his old stuff and then his like panic chosen one to research. So she signs. So you both thought to fix the drought with this? She points to that cat's eye stone.
I mean, that's just one ongoing theory. I mean, it's a very powerful little arcane focus, you could say. Or at least that's what we developed it into. We've noticed that around certain ley lines and crystalline formations that magic seems to be easier to cast, more powerful. We were hoping that maybe we could arcanely fix the drought, or at least fix the symptoms, and are able to allow rain to drop where it naturally is not. It's just a theory. And honestly, most of my research I've handed over to Vinali. I'm just not the mind Kellum was. Actually, not anymore.
She'll sign Vinali.
Vinyal. I'm just making sure I'm using this name right. Yes, it's the city of mages and the human side. Yeah, Vinali.
Question.
Yep.
Is he saying his stuff out loud?
Bracarius?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's usually how they talk lately.
I'm curious because sometimes they're signing and it's both ways, but
Oh no, he typically speaks while she signs back.
okay.
Unless it's sneaky.
Yeah.
Just wanna.
No, you're right.
Understand.
Yeah, for sure. If he's being sneaky around someone, I'll say he's signing.
Okay, but I'll just kind of walk over, I guess, and take a glance at the piles of.
So you
things
followed
he's
him
done.
up there, you didn't leave?
Oh,
Are you
this was-
sneaking?
I didn't know he was going up there without me, but okay. He left me.
I mean, he was kind of saying like, yeah, if you want to go get ready for classes, he probably wouldn't have noticed you walking up to the door waiting if you're waiting for an IS or listening in, and not in a rude way or just like standing
I
there.
would just have left if it wasn't the case. So
Yeah, but if you're
Uh-huh.
at the door and like kind of listening in, or like maybe heard something and then like turned around to be a part of it, that's fine.
I mean, did I hear anything that
Oh,
would
yeah.
have made me?
Yeah, at this point, as they were talking to me, like, hey, did you find anything on the research? And then probably was like,
Okay,
You know.
so then I would come over, I
Excuse
guess.
me.
And
oh,
Catch my
exactly.
interest.
Yes. What was the
And I
question?
sits up, and then she starts signing, "How's your sister?" And then she realizes that she's not.
She's asking, how's your sister? Quite urgently, actually.
oh, she's good. She's all better, I think.
She actually smiles at that.
Okay, now I'll walk
And-
over and look at the research notes and what's in the stacks.
Are you just trying to get like a cursory glance at it?
Yes.
Investigation. She smiled. Still, my favorite is the phrase.
20.
20. Very quickly, you're able to kind of like one hand on the notes, kind of do a quick sight read of the information. You see Kellum's notes with a notebook right next to it that you're obviously picking up that he is, and you do this as well. You kind of transcribe into your own notes things that stand out from like other sources.
It definitely seems like he is matching up or writing down specific notes from Kellum's notes and seemingly trying to either glean from it different things or, figure out what happened. You're not quite sure. There's a lot of continuing research on, and he's kind of pulled out that is between Kellum and him over arcane ley lines and the power of crystallines and what they found. The cat eye being one thing that they spoke of that kind of stands out to you. And then it almost seems like the research is split into another category, and there's a few books here, all that you recognize, that are affinity based ones talking about chosens. They're historical what's the word? Effect, and their historical place
it's
in
historical
humanity.
accounts?
Historical accounts within
Yeah.
and how they affected the timelines and the different kingdoms at the time. And then the last one is specifically about the sky affinity and who they are, what they do, what's it's about, things like that, and the powers, the affinity magic that comes from it. And would you roll a 20?
It's 20 total. Not a natural 20, but just 20 total.
He went zzz with a laser on his eyes and like picked it
I was
up.
gonna say, yeah, you're not getting into the majority of it, but there's a few. There's one paper out that's very much like, is this affecting her? Is this what it's all about? Need to do more research about the spear, question marks. There's like things that like questions that he's going through. It's not very specific. There's nothing that relates to Anais, but it's speaking of a her in his research. And that he kind of quickly, as you're like reading over it, he goes, oh, it's just a different research that we're doing. He grabs that sheet and places it within the book of the sky, just kind of like
So I see him hide it.
Yeah, definitely, like right in front of you. But he's trying to organize it and just like put it in different ways, and like he's put that stuff to the side, and then
Brian's so bad at being subtle.
yeah,
It's
very much so.
hilarious.
I mean, at 20, you're gonna
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
I was like, even with a 18 on a sleight of hand,
Well, it's like when he was like, "Oh, she's my niece." Like,
I mean, it's not as bad as that. It's very like a
Yeah.
smooth, like, oh, he's just organizing real quick and moving one over, and
It's
but
very
it's
suspicious
still
to
it's still
Zach right now
suspicious
that
to you.
He's
Yeah.
asking Turn about Chosens. He's got books
Yeah,
about
for sure.
Chosens.
It's you're putting together stuff for sure.
Guy.
Yeah. So your sister then, the Knoxroot. I mean, Arcanist was saying that that's what was needed to allow the healing to work, right? And he's still like slowly pushing books and stuff away, like.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Anais, for helping out. I'll leave you two alone so you can talk about important things.
Oh, it's nothing important. Just common
Yeah.
garble, between us.
Exactly. I'll go.
Minus
Bye.
Callum, of course. That is, not. And I'm not that
And
it's.
And Ice is siding and like pointing to Brian, pointing to him, like to say it, but she just says, "I'm really glad she's okay."
Right.
happy to
But
help.
she says she's really glad she's okay and glad that she could help.
Yes, thanks.
Nice. You should probably get going too. You have classes, right? Why don't you two head out together? Y'all can help each other out.
Okay, is she like, is Zach's back turned? Was he walking away?
Zach.
I mean, if he's gonna suggest that we leave together, I'll look back at you then.
Okay, so never mind. So I get up and I just kind of like, I might be walking away, and I turn around and I just kind of give Brian a look like, I guess we'll talk later type of look. Well, actually no, she can sign. He can't understand her,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
she'll
yeah.
just sign. I guess we'll talk about your other research later.
Yes, definitely. Anytime you're interested in looking into this stuff, you both are more than happy to. And Anais, I know you've been made a special interest. I'll be doing different classes. You can see me afterwards as well if that's what you want to talk about your father's research. Yes.
She's just like,
Zach, there's still like an insight of father's research.
yeah. Oh, you know what? I did have my spear on the table.
You have your spear out on the table.
Yeah.
Yep. Zachary. Give me an intelligence check, please.
Alrighty.
Because you read all the
Please
time in the
roll
garden.
high. Please roll high.
That's so
15.
funny.
Huh. It looks just like the spear in the statue in the garden. It's so weird.
I
It
just
must be a different one though, but it looks like it. Maybe a second
Replica,
glance.
yep.
Maybe a second glance
Work on
past
her
the statue.
cosplay, Yep.
It's
We're the
cosplay for
con.
sure.
It's the
I
con
just-
crap, right?
I just pick it up and put it underneath my cloak and just start walking out. Yep. Yeah. It's just not try to not even have an expression on my
Yep,
face.
like,
Just very casual.
You're doing that, and Bricarius is just stacking notes and a book. And there's just this moment of like, awesome. Will you have fun? I will see you down there very shortly. Yes? Okay. And that's where we're going to take our break. After that amazing scene. We can jump back in if you guys want to talk about anything on your way to the classes after the break. Or anybody else. So.
Oh, I will.
We will. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick 8-minute break. So we'll come back on the 40. It is 8:40 for me, whatever time for you, but on the 40-minute mark. All right. Thank you guys so much for allowing us to start late. I don't expect us to run late, but we might, depending on how things go. But we'll see. So thank you guys again so much for joining in, and we'll be right back. And welcome back from the break. We're about a minute late, but that's okay. We got people running back, but it's all good. Hey! I wanted to see what would happen. But anyways, it's all good. We're back from break. I was gonna say y'all can wait because Anais and Zach are probably gonna talk anyway. So, poll of the night. Chef Boyardee, is it bad to eat out of the can cold?
Say yes.
Yes. My dad used to be in the Navy, and he said, you know, the lines are long at the microwave, so we just eat it cold. So as a kid, I got used to eating it cold. All right, I've been turned on by the chat. No, pitchforks, take him down. Yeah, I haven't eaten all day. So yes, that's what I did during break. What did you guys have for dinner? Hopefully you had a good snack. But anyways, welcome back to Fates United. Thank you guys so much. It's not as bad as you guys think, y'all. But anyways,
That really turned it around on you, huh?
Thank you everybody for showing up. It's crazy how many of y'all are showing up tonight, so I do appreciate it. I might just show up late every week if this is gonna happen. I mean, this might be a thing. Anyways, I don't know what's happening, but this is just chaos. Tonight, it's a little Carlos energy tonight. But anyways, quick reminder, if you're watching this on YouTube being caught up, which all the episodes will be uploaded tomorrow, but having some issue with them. So I do apologize for the delay, but we'll get all of our recent episodes uploaded tomorrow on my off day. We can go ahead and catch up on any old episodes there. If you're watching, please give us a like, a comment, and subscribe. It will be really helpful. Trying to grow and bring more people into our community. It'd be amazing. And if you're watching on YouTube, if you'd like to join us live every Thursday for the chaoticness and energy of what can happen every week, we stream every Thursday live Twitch at 7:30 going forward p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So everyone remember, just another reminder, next week we will be starting an hour later, not late, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, because of the time changes, all that stuff, fun stuff. But, anyways, as we're back, we jump back in. We'll jump over Meikai and Kao. Do you guys have anything specific as you're heading towards classes that you want to do?
I'd say just kind of keeping an eye on.
Ranger doesn't want you to leave
Where-
for classes.
Nope. Can you stop? Can I think just keeping an eye out for the other two and making sure that Anais is still alive, that Zach's alive, you know, that kind of stuff.
They're not there. They're gone. They're missing. You know, Anais wasn't there last night. She ain't there today.
To be fair, though, she's not there most nights lately.
I mean, I was just about to say that,
It's
but
pretty rare.
Even as I'm walking to class, I don't see anything.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and head to the. I'm gonna go get cleaned up, and by the time I do that, after the blacksmith, I'll probably just be needing to head towards the class area.
okay. Awesome. Meikai, you are the first one in the class because you're the one thinking about school and getting pencils and ready. Are you sitting up front?
Oh, I meant like I was in my room getting
No, I'm just
stationary.
saying when you left for the class, you're
Oh,
the first one there. Yeah.
then we're fine. Who's the teacher?
Lady Lexus is there right now.
Thank goodness it's not as scary as. Okay.
Oh, are you bringing your dog with you today to class? That's fine if you just put him in the corner though.
He just followed me. I'm very sorry.
It's fine. I think he's adorable. But yep, you're the first one there. A few of the other representatives slowly walk in. Kaho, by the time you're there walking in, Ergon and Joarston are playing with the dog in the corner. It's adorable. They're having fun. And you now see you see Sir not Sir Carr. Sir Carr walks in as well, but you see Eli Sand walk in and go up to the top to the front. And Ascarius also joins in. I'll have to remind her that he's there as well. So it seems that all of the staff are arriving for this class. Almost like an introductory one. But we'll jump back. Anais and Zachary, as you are walking down the stairs. You may talk about whatever you wish to talk about.
So, just as we're kind of like nearing the bottom away from Bry, I'll just kind of whisper over, "Are you a chosen of Lotha?"
It's gotten straight to it.
He asks the question straight on.
So he whispers it?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good. Yeah, so blunt. Her eyes probably just get really big, and then she like looks like over at you, and she just like stops walking, and we'll just write. Why would you say that?
I was expecting the shrug.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious from what I just saw up there. Your weapon, and you can talk to storms. Bri was asking someone about Chosen back where we were. So, yeah.
Now we have the shrug. It was coming, don't worry.
So you're chosen then.
She writes supposedly? Question mark?
Wow. That's pretty great. How long have you known?
She writes, that night of the storm.
Oh, that really loud one? Was that 2 days ago? 3 days ago? 2, 3?
I think it's,
Can't
I don't
remember.
remember how. It was, yeah, well, probably 2, I think. I don't remember. So yeah,
Wow.
so she responds.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
She's probably, you probably see she looks kind of freaked out, like just watching your reaction as you're like thinking about it. Especially because Bri was just like really laying it on with like, you don't know how people are gonna act and stuff. So she's just kind of like staring at you, like watching your reaction.
Okay. Well, we should go to class.
And then she writes, Bri says, and you see it says, Bri says that I shouldn't tell anybody because people either really depend on them or they really hate them. So I'm trying not to let anybody know. And then underneath it says, Bri is not subtle.
No, he's not. He's really bad at keeping secrets. I'll keep your secret though. I don't hate you. I don't plan on just using you either.
She writes, thank you. I'm not even sure how useful I could be anyway. And then underneath says, second time in a row, unconscious.
Yeah, I was panicking there. I probably should have healed you. I kind of was freaking out because I heard everyone else was down, so I'm sorry.
She writes, that's okay. I probably shouldn't have gone down. I just wasn't thinking either. I think both of us probably aren't good at this stuff. Naturally.
Yeah. I'm not very good in fights. But, okay, we should get to class. Learn some stuff. Read some books.
You did that on purpose.
I did do it on purpose.
Nacho Libre, anybody? Okay. So yeah, so she just writes, yes, thanks, and she writes, my weapon's a secret too for now. I'm trying to get a better cover for it.
Okay.
I'm glad your sister is okay though.
Me too. Okay. Off to class.
Oh, as you're writing there, as you're walking, there's one more thing. You get your the notebook passed in your peripheral again.
Okay.
And it says, so Sasha knows about people hunting you too?
Yeah. I know her.
From before?
Mhm.
She writes, are you guys close?
Yeah.
She seemed to care about you a lot.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it looks.
Yeah, I care about her too.
She just writes, glad you have other people to watch your back too.
I'll try to be better about watching your back.
She like smiles a little bit. We go to class.
All right. Makai, I don't think you heard because I feel like you were running around chasing a dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you were, Lady Alexis was the only one when you arrived. However, as other students were filling in, there were other staff members arriving in, including Asterius and Eli Sand, and a few of the other squires are in the back. But you all eventually make it. Anais and Zachary, you look around and you are the last of the representatives to arrive in class. So there are only a few seats readily available, but you guys are in the top part of the Centaurium. You had to walk through the open courtyard, and when you're up to the front, you make your way and take a right into this wing of the Centaurium you guys haven't been in before. You can see very similar setup to your room, except it's a lot larger built. There is a balcony that goes up that seems to be different residence halls, and you get an idea this is for the professors and the staff where most of them stay. Down where you guys are I think I put in 4. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let me get to my map. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 classrooms. And the one that you're in, and one is one of the larger. It's kind of like a more of a, there's like 2 lecture halls and 2 like small private halls. But as you do, everyone's kind of standing there ready. Everyone except for the dean is pretty much the only one that's not here. But you see in the front, Lady Alexis. Oh, fantastic! Everyone's arrived. Wait, anyone heard of Brightcarius? I don't know where he is. In about a good 30 seconds after you guys have walked in, you just hear, I'm here, I'm good, I'm fine, sorry, I had a few things to wrap up, just gonna get some food, I'm good, let's get going, everybody learning. Woo! Very trying to subtly overdo everything, but as you guys all sit down, there's Sir Carr kind of leaning back in the back, just kind of, you know, whatever, this is class. Everyone else is kind of here. Ergon's kind of like sitting in this chair that's a little bit too small for him, and it's a little uncomfortable, like this big old guy just like at this student's desk. But all of the students seem to get quiet. As Lady Alexis, there's a few chalkboards that are kind of like, you know, you can roll in and stuff, but a lot of this seems very open. It's an open-ended class, and there's one desk up front. And a few of the other professors standing around. So she starts, well, everyone, welcome to the first day of the Centaurium. I am quite grateful that everybody's here today. We understand that, you know, there were some urgent matters that arose, and we're glad that everything was taken care of accordingly. Again, if anyone is still needing any more healing or rest, please let me know. I'm available anytime in between classes. So, let us get into this. You welcome to the Centaurium. A quick reminder for what you are all here for. Why we are here. And kind of the structure going forward. I myself am going to be your source of study for the different affinities. For the religious aspects, the way they've interacted with the cultures in historical ways. And I'm also the temple master here. Now, starting off, these are not classes like you might know normally, where you have a schedule to adhere to and you have to show up to each class or homework. We all know that you have your own studies at home, and that this isn't general studies. What we want to do here is to help prosper all of you to continue rising your craft, rising your knowledge base, and exposing you to everything around in this world to help push forward peace in the realm. The more you understand the affinities at play, understand the Ancient One, to remember history and how it played out, to be a fighter for peace, to defend yourself and protect the innocent, to be able to know the cultural differences, the political aspects between everyone, then you can be more of a beacon of hope and help in this land. We want to avoid war,
avoid the differences that separate us. So that is what you hear from the Centaurium. You get to choose which studies you want to go into, what you want to work on, who you're going to work with. All of the teachers have open study hours every day during the week, and you can choose what to focus on during that week, during the days, if you need physical training, you need mental training, whatnot. Be wise about this. We are putting the education in your hands, and we are resources for you. You get in what you take out, is my always favorite phrase. So, being which so, we have Ascarius here, who will be your professor available to teach on different cultures and the way they interact between each other, as he is an ambassador for many different kingdoms. Hanosuka, New Ogania. He is seen as a ambassador for the Primordials and has gone around for many different human cities and Primordials as well to encourage ways to get along and work together. I myself, again, as saying, I'm your reference for affinities, for religious studies, for healing, of course, as things might get a little interesting. You have Markoth Hynira, and she points to the old man who just seems to not want to be here right now. The archives are available at your behest if there's anything specific that you want help looking for books, resources. Let us know. We can even reach out to other emissaries, and maybe there's something specific here that we don't have that we can get for you. We have Sir Bricarius, and he's like waving at everyone. But for you that are arcanely inclined, Bricarius is here to help focus that and study and help you grow, whether it be knowledge, book-based, arcane, innate, natural magics that come from within, to help you focus and study those and control, or even other magics that have different sources from the infinities. Him and I work closely together on that. We have Eli Sand for any of those that the opposite of arcane, for the fighting and physical aspects of what you want to fight with. He is available to study you in all of the different ways of cultural fighting, the different weapons at hand. Garrick Stone is his blacksmith, who's quite reputable around here. If you need a specific weapon made, more in your style, something a little bit more balanced, directly attributed to you, he's the one to go to. Any of our squires are available as well if you need a second hand. We have Liara, we have many of the different squires here and a few of the others that are unnamed, she kind of points to. But lastly, we do have Varys. He's our inquisitor who anyone does want to look into more of the artifact finding and fighting against the darkness aspects. When they are back, he would be a great resource for that. And so, if anyone has any questions for our teachers before we start on our first little lesson for the day, I open it up to all of you.
Out of character question.
Yes.
Who's Varys?
I dropped a lot right there. Varys is the Inquisitor Cardinal, the leader of the Inquisitors. He was the one that welcomed you guys when you arrived with the dark blue skin with glowing eyes and golden armor.
He's still here.
He is currently not here, but he is supposed to be here as a teacher or like a representative for the Inquisitors to help represent what they go through. But they seem to be away at the moment. You guys had Lady Leetta, Sir Ricarius, and Raylund, who are the three that were with him here at the Centaurium. The others, and anyone that happens to know about the Inquisitors, you can choose for your character if you do or not. This is very common knowledge. There are 100 Inquisitors. It's a very esteemed group to be a part of. So he's in charge, and Ricarius is number 1 ranked among them. They all get ranked. And to become one of the ranked, you have to serve as like squires or apprentices to them until one retires, leaves, or dies, and then they get replaced.
Okay.
Plus, any other questions? Well, that wasn't in character, but yeah.
Any in or out of character questions at the moment? Awesome. So, just breaking this down, we're not going to be going through classes every single week or anything like that in the game. At this point, with where you guys are, there will be potential time skips because, I mean, you're at a school. It's not like things are happening to you every single day necessarily. So, as your character, you can choose each week what you want to study on, and the way I'm kind of thinking about doing this is allowing you guys almost like 3 study points to work on. So you can be like, I want to focus my relationship with this NPC. I want to work on fighting, or I want to work on a new language. I want to research this. You can have 3 little things to focus on. And eventually, over time, you'll be able to gain those proficiencies, gain those skills, gain knowledge into different things that you want. There will be an event going on that you kind of lead to. This is very Fire Emblem-esque, kind of how I'm building this at the moment. So she goes on to explain, now you all have each week to study for different studies that you wish, and it'll be smart of you to behoove to get to know each other better, to get to learn how each other works in and out of combat, to understand what is important, what is the agenda for each other. These are people around you that can be great allies and assets for you as you go back out into the world. And as we have found poorly throughout history, some might even be your adversaries in war. And it's these relationships that will save the kingdoms, innocent people from dying, bloodshed to be had, when you can have that connection with an adversary. So, weekends are yours, afternoons are yours, to do as you wish. If you need to go, and we do ask that you go out and help Rosewood as much as possible to be examples. This is your bubble from the world, let's say. This is a small town with little issues. But this is your chance to practice what you learn here, to be leaders in your cultures back home. So go, you can help people in Rosewood, help people here. And we encourage that. We encourage you to help out the local landscape. If you need to go travel somewhere to New Organia, to local areas, let us know, we can arrange something. Now, as part of our first lesson, and going into our first event for the month, quick reminder, and she looks to the other professors, goes, thank you, that is all for now. They will be available. Today you'll be with me, but after today or this afternoon, you can go make time with any of the professors as you see fit. So, why we are all here. Quick lesson in the Ancient One and the Affinities. So, many years ago, thousands of years, it was told that the Ancient One, the creator of all around us, created this land out of an outpouring of his love. From that, he filled the skies and the earth with the creations and the affinities that you can see around you. Wanting to fill it with someone to appreciate it, and out of his being, he created the first avatar, that is being the light avatar. Let me get the names for ya. Light, Istari. That was one of the first ones, and Istari, in turn, and according to creation stories, was the one that helped create humans and Aasimars. From there was created the other affinities. Sky, water, earth, stars, moon, and sun. And he formed the other avatars in share. Now, why this is so important to us, as these avatars lived among us at one point, creating the realms that we now know, the Centaurium area here, New Organia, and other kingdoms that are now long forgotten the ley lines that they have created. But even some of the technology in Vanali have direct relations to the avatars themselves. They were the ones that taught our races and our beginning kingdoms magics
and to be able to control these affinities. As you all know, there's not many now that can control these magics to the level that we can, that you can. You are the rarity among your people, and so you are chosen to be here at the Centaurium to learn. Now, back in the day, it's called the Great War. That is when, and this is when many scholars divide on what exactly happened. Somehow, darkness was introduced, corruption, into the realm of these affinities. There is some word that it was Istari himself that betrayed the other avatars, or rather a fracture of him into two separate beings. Or maybe it was a separate being entity into itself. It's actually something that no one can quite agree upon in the realm, but needless to say, darkness was introduced. Now, to battle it, the Ancient One himself sacrificed his power, his ability to walk among the mortals, and gave the powers to the other avatars, the seven, to battle against darkness. And that was the last time the Ancient One has been seen or been heard from. We now assume he is beyond the mortal veil, is what they call it, what we have named this protective divide between the mortals and us, or the immortals and us. Now, studying history, we've seen there was a great peace because of this. A great peace that lasted many years. Again, still not quite clear as how many. But we have known, and from what we can see in history, that darkness is never quite defeated, only delayed. Darkness, biding his time, came again and invaded from his realm with beasts of darkness, controlling and taking over aspects of this realm. And that is when, at first, the primordials and humans were quite distinct, as it seemed there were many different races of the primordial ones that joined the darkness with the humans at the time. This being said, the seven avatars then, in almost copying the ritual from before, gave up their selves in that ritual, their arcane abilities, to then protect and put themselves with the darkness behind this mortal veil. Yet again, with peace prospering afterwards. Now, the avatars, understanding that darkness is immortal as well, and the corruption that it bestowed upon the world, the different beasts that have polluted areas in the world, and that still threaten our kingdoms that hold, in their last aspect, gave up their immortal powers to bestow the powers upon chosens. 7 chosens that would join up against darkness each time. Now, that is one aspect of history that is lost to us, the names or the accounts of the first chosens. But slowly throughout the generations, there have been separate new generations of which, and she gives a little glance over to Alana, as one of the more popular ones from the most recent history was the former king of yeah, that's not gonna happen, Sybil. Yeah, maybe during variety talk. She speaks of the king of New Organia. He had been a beacon of hope for all of us in peace, bringing all of the nations of the humans together. Though with his death, the great divide was spawned. And so hence why this is so important that we all learn from each other and learn their history. Things will repeat themselves. Just like the Chosens are repeated generationally, wars have bestowed upon
very often as darkness seems to rise and corrupt those weak against it to their mind. So, here we are, and as the Dean's words, we're no longer relying just on the chosen. As all throughout history, there are legends of those that have stepped up to aid the chosens. Special people like you, as a lot of us fear the darkness is rising again. I mean, there are even word that some of you have come across beasts and monsters of darkness. And you hear Ergon like, I mean, there's war, but darkness monsters, and almost like every other eyeball looks at him, kind of like, yeah, dude, like we all saw that yesterday. And you hear Carlos, oh yeah, I think that was the story they were telling us about the little hoppy things, and yes, it is quite known, and it is now becoming aware to us that even the mountains nearby are being infected. So, it is our responsibility as chosens, are us that have stepped up to volunteer to fight against darkness here, to be a beacon of hope, of light in this place, a stronghold, so that we can continue to teach you about the affinities, have other promising young men and women, races of all around, come together to learn how to prosper peace, to control their powers. We cannot be reliant just on the chosen. Who knows, maybe they are even chosen among you. And it's almost like a tongue-in-cheek. But there have been chosens that have come through this hall. So, that is where we begin. And that is my lesson for today. If anyone has any questions on the affinities, I am here. Or you may head off to any of the other professors who are available to your need or reliance. Good luck. And she kind of dismisses the class. You see Alana, who did not she seemed to have claspered up after being called out like that. She seems to be the first one to get up and leave. And a few of the other people. Sir Carr is kind of like walking out, cracking his neck. Yeah, I'm just going to keep on training. Y'all can have the history stuff to yourselves. And he kind of walks out. Anir seems very interested, and he ends up going up to Lady Nexus and asking her a few questions. And they're talking a bit. Joarston and Martha seem to leave and head off in some direction. But there's Sasha, Carlos, and Ergon that are still here. They're kind of slowly getting up and are available to talk to. And Ergon just kind of nudges you like, ugh, and like kind of whispers a little bit to you. Oh man, that was rough. I had a hard time keeping awake from all that. She just kept on talking and talking and talking and talking. Oh.
Yeah, her voice is very like, it's not one note exactly. It's not like the drill instructors that are like yelling in your face every second of the day.
Yeah, but at least they keep you awake.
Yeah, because if you fall asleep, they make you do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I've had to run a couple miles because of that. So what are you going to do?
That's a very good question. Honestly, I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Well,
what are you planning on doing?
I don't know. I mean, of course, I need to get back in shape a little bit, so maybe some training with Eli, but kind of interested in talking to Ascarius. He's, we're not supposed to be the ambassador shaman for the Goliath. I mean, kind of seems interesting to learn about different folks and how their cultures work. We are kind of different from everyone else here, I've learned.
Definitely. Very different. I think today I need an opportunity to kind of ponder and figure things out, so I think at least for today I'm gonna go do a little bit of what I know and work up a sweat with the blacksmith again.
Oh yeah, I saw you getting your hands dirty with that. Nice. I might stop by a little later then. How's that?
I look forward to seeing you there.
kind of smacks you on the back, and then he kind of just walks over to you, Zachary, and gives you a little punch on the shoulder, kind of like a brotherly punch, and then, all right, I'll see y'all later then.
Is it to Zach?
Yeah.
I barely even know this guy.
I mean, you guys are the last ones here. You're just the only other guy here, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh,
He's like, all right, guys. He's like looking at everyone, just kind of like saying bye. I'm like, all right, buddy.
Carlos, where's my punch? That's
you-
not what Carlos
All right.
sounds
Well,
like.
I mean, if you want to punch me too, I'm right here. Okay, it's fine. See you later, buddy. Friend. All right.
I kind of look at the group and I'm just like, I honestly don't even know where to start. So, if you have suggestions, feel free to share them.
well, before you guys leave, just want to say thank you for coming yesterday and helping.
Is your sister okay?
Yeah, it helped her. She got healed up because of it. So thank you.
Yeah, that's good. You're both feeling fine? Looks at Ananias.
I just fell over on my chair.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Nice.
Falls out of her chair. What do you mean me?
Yeah. Yeah, she just nods. Probably looks a little like sheepish, you know, like.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely glad to hear that she's doing better, though, Zach. That is Zachary. I apologize. Definitely better to hear she's doing well.
Now you can read your books with a good conscience that your sisters are safe.
Yeah.
You actually hear Lady Nexus pop up. Oh, right. I did forget. I told everyone else yesterday. I think actually mostly the four of you that weren't here. Also a reminder, so at the end of the month, we are planning a friendly skirmish, our first one to really gauge what everyone's combat abilities are and ability to work together. Brecarious seems to be the sponsor of one of our teams, and the four of you will be working together with Lady Alana. So, you'll be one team, and it's just a friendly skirmish. It'll be non-lethal, of course. Kind of like pointing to everyone. Please do not hurt each other too bad. But it'll be an unknown goal that will be revealed to each one of you, and it'll either be the last team standing or the first one to gain the goal during the skirmish. And it'll be here, all the professors. It'll be a very contained skirmish, but she does mention that there's like a field and a mountain that's like a training grounds outside of the Centaurium that they use. So I forgot to tell everyone that was supposed to be the last thing of my little speech, but I'll make sure anyone who didn't hear is well aware.
All right. Thanks.
Wait, you're saying we're going to be part of the skirmish as a group?
Of course. Brightcare said that it seemed that you all have seem to gravitate towards each other, and we picked straws for captains, and Lady Alana was the one that picked, and she chose your group among the ones that they had to choose from.
The chosen ones.
Oh.
All right.
Nice looks at her book.
So we should probably
Your Brightcare's trip over a glass like in the other room.
probably try to get some practice in at some point. Doesn't have to be today. You know what's better than practice though? Real life application. I actually
That is true.
talking
Zachary.
with- Oh,
Yo, no go. Kahu.
I was just going to say that I was talking with Garrick Stone, the blacksmith, and he was just mentioning that apparently there was some issue that the quarry that they tend to get the mining materials from was dealing with issues, and it might be a good opportunity for us to maybe scout out, see if we can help clear things up. And maybe if we go through the town first, it sounds like we might be able to make a little money from it as well. Good opportunity to kind of learn to fight together a little bit better, but also get to the town and also, maybe do some good around here.
We call that hooking up 3 fish in 1 hook. That's our phrase. You know, getting all things
Did
done.
you want to
at
come as
once.
well, Carlos?
Oh, I mean,
Two birds.
I didn't want to avoid on that one. I don't know, I lost the point. Oh yeah, hello there. There we go. Sorry, don't know why I sounded like that. But no, I need to figure out who's on my team actually. I think we're going to be adversaries, you know? Sorry, Meg, hi, I know you're really about me, but sorry, we're gonna have to be enemies for a little bit. So, anyways, I'm gonna go find them. I think Sakar's the captain. Anyways, you guys have a good look. Have a good one. Keep me. Catch 3 fish in 1 hook. That's my favorite line of the day.
Anais just writes, "I'll take anything I can get to get better, please."
Zachary, if you don't want to hurt people physically, maybe learn to hurt their pride or something. I don't know. Psych them out in battle. Like throw sand at them. I don't know.
You see Anir kind of finishes up with Lady Lexus, and you know they kind of nod, and Anir starts walking out, kind of waves over to you, Kaho. Anais, can I have a word? And she pulls you over
She'll
to
probably.
this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What is she gonna do?
She just like closes her book and like I don't. Bry's probably gone, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. Okay. So she'll probably glance at Zach, kinda, and then she'll just like walk away and go over to her.
Sure. I mean, it's nothing like too private or anything, but she's like leaning up against her desk, like sitting on it. And she goes, oh, "Nice. Now, I've been told that you need to write. Is that correct? You don't speak. Feel free to write anything down. I'll try and give you yes or no answers and whatnot. But so I've been told that you might be looking into the healing aspects as well as I."
Yeah, she'll write. Yeah, I've found I can do it sometimes now.
That's amazing. I personally think this is one of the best professions that you can have to help others, whether it be going with them in battle, keeping them alive, or being a respectable source of hope and knowledge to the people in the towns. Clerics are very well needed around here. Though I notice, I heard you guys went up to the mountains the other day. You don't seem to be wearing much armor. Is that something that you might be looking into? And you can see she's like wearing like decked out full plate armor and like ornately.
I did buy armor.
You did? Are you wearing it though?
in the
Okay.
town.
Yeah. I mean,
I wore
asking.
it. I don't wear it. I'm not wearing it now.
Yeah.
I would imagine,
She
but I
just-
did. Wear
yeah,
it
she
up to
doesn't.
now.
She doesn't know you bought it.
Okay, I was just letting you know
I
in
know.
case you
Yeah,
forgot
yeah.
as the DM. Okay. Yeah, she just writes. I bought some in Rosewood the other day.
Fantastic. Good. Okay. I was just worried for everyone, and I was going to let you know that Garrick is our blacksmith here, so if there are weapons or armor that anyone needs, that is something to look into. Us clerics seem to be first targeted and sometimes the most in danger.
Tell me about it.
I'm sure you've already seen that. Good. Well, if there's anything else you need from me, I'm always here to help. Bracaris seems to be taking a liking to you, so anyone that Bracaris likes, I seem to like.
She writes, I'm not sure if this is private or not, so sorry. Bry is not subtle sometimes, but he mentioned something about a vow with you? And he said, I might like to know about it.
A vow, according to what?
To a god? Whoever you serve?
Oh, are you asking who I serve?
Mhm.
I am a cleric of the Ancient One.
She writes, would I know that? Is that like a weird thing? Or do people do that?
From your background, you haven't come across anyone that's been directly related to the Ancient One per se. Most people seem to choose affinities or these avatars as their reputable religion or stuff like that. So this is probably you might have come across it in writing, but this might be one of the first times you've actually encountered someone specifically say like, no, I'm devoted to the Ancient One versus just one affinity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she'll just write, I hadn't met anyone that was just with him.
Yes, it's a, I hate to say dying devotion. It's less and less popular. But being here at the Centaurium, it's been great to feel his presence here, not only with the 7 affinities, and you almost feel a closeness to all of them, but rather a passion and devotion to protect everybody, not just those that follow your god or follow your cultural backgrounds. And quite so, I found myself here at the Centaurium with the internal flame. It's one of the few ley lines that the Ancient One has been told to have blessed himself. This fire in the temple doesn't go out. It's a symbol of his undying protection and love over our lands. How about you? Do you feel a tug towards an affinity? Most clerics seem to have a favored one, if you could say.
She writes, clerics worship just a bunch of the different gods, right? So if I just said I worship Lotha, that wouldn't be like,
oh, it would not be weird
thing,
at all. No,
like
at
for
all,
me
yeah.
to say. Okay,
Exactly.
I just wanted to make sure before I say it,
Yeah,
it'd be
it's
like,
not,
oh wow, you just
must
told
be
her,
chosen.
Rachel.
Yeah, no.
Good job. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, like, everyone has to either, these are the 7 gods or the Ancient One that they worship, or it seems to be other spun off ones that other cultures worship. Like, the elves worship Sundavir, which is not one of the 7.
Nope. Okay. I just saw the chat.
I worship Carlos. Hey, hello. Nice to be here. I like to walk around my people.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just write Lotha. Lots of, and then Lotha, period. Lots of lightning.
I see now. Well, quite powerful in battle, lightning can be. Lotha has many different attributes of the sky and tranquility, but also fierceness in the moments of need and destruction. I think you'll be quite the powerhouse. Many people underestimate you. I will be sure not to.
She just writes, I hope I could get better.
Don't worry, you will. In time, continue to protect those around you, and if you need any information for the different affinities or Lotha herself, or himself, please let me know. I'm always here to assist.
She just writes, I'd take any information you could give me on him.
Just an overall. Yeah. Anything specific? Yeah. I mean, in that aspect, then she'll probably take the next 30 minutes to kind of tell you pretty much everything you already know about him. Just that Lotha is, the sky avatar, that, he bestows many powers and helps really dictate the circle of life, is how they view him, with the water cycle and things like that, and how destruction and tranquility can be made. She says that I'd say one of the 2 things that you might not have heard of before that she mentions is that it did seem back that in the different time frames that the Nuotari people, or where they are now, the land of Nuotari, has always had some sort of affinity towards sky, though it is now being occupied by humans. There were different races that used to occupy that land before. Elves being one of them.
Oh, okay.
And so,
Is that where Joriston is from, or wherever?
Joarston, yeah. Mhm.
Joriston, is that where he's from?
Yep.
Okay, because he was telling me about that, so I didn't know
Yeah,
if it's the
exactly.
same thing.
Yeah, just kind of connecting those
Cool,
two
cool,
together.
cool.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So it's a lot of legends and lore, and like a lot of people are now starting to get affinity towards, like or knowledge on the Sky One there, because that is kind of where it's been told that the Sky Avatar seemed to kind of stay before with the different races that were there before the Great Divide.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Was there something else? I think you said there was 2 things I found out. I didn't know.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh no, that and the elves. That the elves had been.
That the elves may have been
that there was
Okay.
one tribe that specifically came from New Atari originally.
Okay.
Sorry, I was like, I'm pretty sure it said both, but they're like wrapped up into one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But she didn't know which one. It's just some random tribe.
Yeah, she's not very knowledgeable on the elves.
Okay. Okay. That's helpful.
But it's like 20 minutes later that you kind of turn around, and are you guys still there waiting while she's just talking to? She gets very ingrained in this conversation with her.
Unless they pull me into a conversation, I'm walking out.
Yeah, I feel like I would probably just kind of like walk away after like a few, like 5-10 minutes and be like, all right.
I'm going to follow Zach.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble, boy.
So I just want to, just to kind of for pacing as well, to let you guys know, I'm probably gonna, for this game, we'll just kind of continue playing it out. That way you guys have a way to talk to each other, kind of interact a little bit more, and then we'll talk after the game as far as time skips or events that you guys want to do before the skirmish and things like that. So I am trying, I guess the overall feel for this is that everything's not happening in just 1 week, even though it seems that it's all happened in 1 weekend so far. You guys are here for a whole year, so like things are kind of spread out a little bit more. So we'll kind of get into that a little bit more, and we'll talk about that game and get into that next game. But for the rest of this one, will just kind of be your chance to talk to different professors, talk to each other or other NPCs that you wish, or go back to Rosewood, because I know a few of you guys have some stuff in Rosewood to do. So.
Or just go back to sleep.
Or go back to sleep, and we'll sit here, and that will be what you guys enjoy. We'll roll for snoring. So I just want to put that out there, just kind of like expectations for the game.
Cool.
All right.
So, Kahu, you follow after Zach?
Yep.
Just following him, or what are you doing?
I'm gonna stride up next to him. So, fighting.
What about it?
Apparently being paired up, and I've kind of noticed it's not really your thing, which is totally fine, in my opinion. But are you trying to make sure it's not your thing? Or are you up to actually... don't want to say it that way. Would you like to at least get proficient enough to help protect yourself a little more?
I mean, that's what I'm trying to learn is magic to protect myself better, so.
I've noticed you don't hurt the things that attack you. Is there a reason behind that?
I don't know. Don't feel like it's something I enjoy doing. I don't like to things suffer. Rather just work on helping others and protecting.
Is your hope that you will never have to make something suffer?
I mean, I'd rather try to end suffering than bring it.
Respect that. I kind of grew up my whole life learning how to deal death. But the interesting thing about my people is the younger kids are the ones who are taught the art of death or to deal death, because honestly, in my culture, it's looked down upon. So you leave it to those who would be the extras to society, to be the protectors of those who would bring death to us. I just want to make sure I know where your stance is on it. Because if you don't want to raise your hand to something, if we're going to be fighting together, it means I need to prepare that much more to make sure that you can.
I don't want you to feel like I'm not pulling my weight or anything.
Don't think of it like that. You know, I have a brother, my elder brother, very good craftsman. And he makes some very beautiful vases and decanters, things that hold and carry water. I go into war and to fight, and I carry one of those by my side often. And it brings to me life and brings to me the ability to move forward through challenging areas and challenging times. And the thing that's so beautiful about it is it's something that was created, that was destroyed. And there's nothing wrong with being somebody who wishes to be a crafter or a helper. And to be honest, I don't know if I was going to make it up there in the mountain. Whatever you did for me, we make it through, so I appreciate it.
When you fight those things and attack them, is that your way of protecting people? Or are you just doing it for yourself?
It's the only way I've really been trained on how to protect people. I was raised to be a tool. To be the thing that met violence when the only answer that could be had at the moment was violence. I mean, there's a reason why I prefer using the spear over anything else, because the spear is a tool that is meant for more than just violence. So when I attack things like that, my hope is I am able to do so more so in self-defense than in seeking the destruction of something just for its destruction. Honestly wish I could have skinned those snakes and eaten them, but they were corrupted by the darkness, and that bothers me quite a bit. The fact that something destroyed can't bring new life, it's troublesome.
Yeah, I've been wondering if maybe there is things that it's better to destroy than, because it would just bring more suffering if it's around. So
The problem is, if you're not willing to ever destroy something or have somebody nearby, then those who only know destruction will inevitably conquer by destroying all. A shield doesn't make you win the battle, though it can help you survive it.
Okay.
Glad to have you on my side.
And thanks for coming yesterday too. I appreciate it.
I'm glad to hear your sister's doing better. Family's
too.
important. Just kind of walk in silence from there unless Zach wants to say more stuff.
No, I'm gonna be thinking, and then I'm also gonna be looking for the other people who went because I want to go and thank all of them as well.
Sure. Sarkar's in the armory, probably where you guys are walking towards at the moment, or at least where Kahu is. Lana's hard to find. Sasha seems to be in the garden at the moment. Anir looks to be in the hallway and then talking with Ascarius. And I think that's everybody, right? Am I missing one? Yeah, that's everybody.
So I'll go to everybody I find and just thank them for coming along and helping out.
As you kind of walk in with Ascarius and Anir, you just hear him. Oh, good. Another one. Are you joining in our discussions?
Just passing through.
Very well. What do you need, boy?
Just want to talk to him real quick.
Anir. Yes. Anir. Just remember, if you or anyone else want to help, there's word from the guards of Norgania of them needing some assistance with the farmers around here. If need any more information, please let me know. And he seems to kind of dismiss both of you, and I'll be here in my study if anyone procures any further information or needs any discussion. So he kind of walks over and sits down at the desk, and Anir, again, kind of dark-skinned. His clothes seem to be a lot more casual today, less battle-oriented, and more just robes and ornate and clean. Hey, Zachary, what can I do for you?
Hey, I just wanted to thank you for coming yesterday. Appreciate you risking your life and everything.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that kind of what they want us to do here? Do good, help others. I'm sure if I ever need a favor repaid, you'll be there for me.
Yeah, I can do what I can to help.
So, I see you've been nosing the books. Kind of like reading myself. What's your interest here?
Just arcane, different protections, people. So.
Protective magic. All right. You know, I'm a little bit of a fan of healing, and then, of course, a few more destructive spells myself. I'm a little bit more fire-oriented, as you would. Maybe we could share some notes sometime. I'm a real big fan of those that are intellectually minded as much. You know, some of these brutes over here, Sarkar, and, you know, I don't really know Kahu that much. He seems all right, but, you know, they always need someone smarter behind them to make sure that we point them in the right direction.
Yeah, we could do that sometime.
Cool. Well, hey, seems like we got another job here. If you're ever bored, I might go check out and talk to some of these guards around here and see what's kind of going on with the farmers if you're interested.
Yeah, I can let the rest of my friends know.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're on teams now, aren't we? Yeah. Bump the teams, and they do seem like good friends. I'm sure we're all going to get real tight and out close here. But sure, you just let me know. I'll be more than happy to go out there, and I'll let you know if I find anything. All right?
Okay. Have you seen Alana anywhere?
Lana, I mean, she ran out there pretty quick. I don't know. I saw her head up back towards the residence halls, but I haven't seen her since.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Sure. Not a problem. Welcome, John Smith and Nelson with the 2 subs. Thank you so much. Yes, so sweet of you. Thank you so much for doing that. Love you guys so much. All right. So you kind of walk around and look for everyone else. Is anyone else doing anything?
So sorry, I was dealing with the dog while you were talking
You're good.
about. So Lexus is like the affinity history temple person.
Basically religion. Yeah, religion
Yeah.
and temple person.
Okay.
You want me to go through the
Ascarius
different
is the culture.
professors? Yes.
Markoth is the archives. Vicarious is gossip and arcane.
Sure. Pretty fair.
Who was the fighting one? I missed that.
Eli Sand, the tabaxi.
Oh, okay. Sands. Okay. Viscarius is artifact finding? Is that what you said?
Varus or Iscarius?
Oh, Varus? I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I don't know. You merged their names, so I wasn't sure. Varus is the head of the Inquisitors.
Oh, okay.
And basically, it's more information on what the Inquisitors do, but they tend to be loosely the enforcers of the different lands. So if a kingdom needs help above beyond their own means, they'll call in the Inquisitors. But mainly, it seems that they are fighting against darkness in different places and seem to be very much interested in Ancient One artifacts.
Okay.
Yep.
I want to go to Sands then, cause fighting.
Perfect. Okay.
And I don't like Ascarius.
Sure. Yeah, I think we'll go to that one, as that seems like a big scene as well. Anais, are you doing anything?
I think since she kind of got some good information with Laeta or
Laeta.
all his names, I'm sorry.
Laeta.
Yeah,
There's a lot
Laeta.
of NPCs going on right now.
I know. I think especially, and after talking, and Laeta's like, yeah, like we do tend to get targeted, don't we? She's like, so like she's definitely like going to Sands too.
And also remember, in the Discord, we have different NPCs on that list. So anyone watching that wants to follow along with the NPC names and pictures that go along with them, I'm not going to use them on screen because I'm just taking them from Google and different shows for copyright issues. But if you want to join our Discord and follow along with the NPCs and their pictures or different locations as they come up, right now we've been in the Centaurium. Pictures will be there that you can follow along as well. So,
which is very helpful because that's what I was doing. I was like,
going through those. Yeah. Awesome. All right, so we'll end with that fighting scene. Zachary, you find Sasha in the garden.
Okay.
You speak with her,
Sasha?
or just kind of just.
Yeah, I'll say thank you to her. So.
Yeah, of course. You know, I'd always help. How are your sisters?
They're good. It seemed to help them. But we got so.
Zachary, that was terrifying up there.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back up.
Okay.
Everyone kept on speaking of clearing out that temple, though. You're not thinking about doing that, are you?
I think I'm going to.
You see her look around real quick, and she like grabs her hand. She's like, "I'm really worried. We all could have died up there. I don't want to lose you."
Honestly, I think if I don't do this, you're gonna lose me one way or another. You probably lose more than just me if we don't do this.
Let's just go back to Celestia. We can get away from all this. It's the reason why we're up in the sky. We don't have to deal with the problems here. They bring on their own problems. Humans and the primordials. Let's just go back and grab your sisters and go home. My dad will keep you safe.
Sasha, I was I read a book once that said that if there was one group of people that some bad guys came for and they didn't do anything about it, and then they went for another group and no one did anything about it, and then they went for another group and no one did anything about it, and then they came for them and there was no one left to help defend them, so they lost too. And I don't want to do that.
You're a lot smarter than I am. Okay. I will try. Become stronger too.
I mean, you can do it through other ways. You don't have to fight things to do it. You can help keep people safe. You can help provide things for others. I mean, there's lots of ways you can help.
Yeah. My dad always said I was a natural leader, but you can't really be a leader if you're not out there willing to go fight with your people, right?
I mean, I think that there is a level of sacrifice to being a leader, but it doesn't mean you need to be the best at everything.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I mean, and you kind of like see her wipe a tear and kind of laughs a little bit. I mean, we are the best, though. I mean, we are ASMRs.
That means we got to keep everybody safe more.
Sure. And there's like a little hesitant agreed with it. Almost like it's against her nature. Satorn's
Our
really changed you,
responsibility.
hasn't it? Already.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've grown up a lot when I've been more focused on keeping my sisters and the rest of my family safe. So, kind of changed how I view things.
At least they're safe now, and you can focus on yourself, right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be working to study and get stronger myself. But I mean, I want to make sure you're safe and everyone else here is safe.
I mean, you are pretty strong. You already saved me up there on the mountain.
I only was able to help you guys because of other people helping me. So.
True. So, what do you plan on studying?
I'm probably gonna focus on like arcane and healing stuff, and I think if I'm climbing mountains, I probably want to stay physically fit too, so I want to work on that.
That will be fun to see. All right, well, you go do that. I think I'm going to focus on my diplomacy. That's kind of why I came here in the first place, anyway. Scarius seems to be quite knowledgeable. I think I'll start with him. Let me know if you go out again, okay? I at least want to know.
Okay.
He looks around again and gives you a quick kiss on the cheek. And... okay. And then starts running off to the different halls. So, you've spoken to Anir and Sasha. Are you looking for Alana?
Yeah, I mean, I'll look for her if I see her. I'll go stop and talk to her.
Give me a perception check.
Number one skill.
You know it.
13.
Not in the residence hall, yeah. You don't really seem to find her. But you do see Sir Carr
and Kahu and Meikai and now Anais all walking into the armory. You seem to be there.
Okay. Did I
Yep.
say thank you to everybody else?
Huh?
Were there a few more people that I needed to?
So you talk to Alana or Anir, Sasha, and then there's Alana that you can't find, and Sirkar Creed. Sirkar's in the armory.
Okay, so he's the last one besides Alana.
Yep.
So I'll go there.
You guys, or Zachary, as you enter in, and the rest of you are all going, you see Eli Stone, a black-haired tabaxi standing there.
Do you mean
Greeting.
sand? You said
Did I say stone? Sorry, I mixed
I
those
didn't
two
know
together.
if this was a different person.
No. Sorry. Eli Sand. They're right next to each other. Yeah, Eli Sand. Black furred tabaxi stands there, and he has different weapons, and he goes, "Oh, very good. Welcome to the classy armory. I apologize, I have been gone for quite some time, but I am back in time to make sure you are all whipped into shape. Of course, you have Garrick Stone, who is also here to provide you weapons and armor that seems to be more of a personal feat for you. Don't worry, this skirmish will be under my direct tutelage, and I will make sure that it is quite safe for everybody here. Why don't you partner off? We are going to begin with stretches and a bit of an exercise to get your cardios and muscles up to par. So, he begins like pointing different people in different directions, like getting Anais to like run laps with Meikai, and Kahu and Sirkar or an Ergon or to do like push-ups and like stretches. Sirkar is kind of like twirling his staff and kind of just going through the motions. Zachary, that you can walk up to him.
Hi. Just wanted to thank you for coming up on the mountain with us yesterday.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
not a problem, kid. He's like mid-sword. Don't get me wrong. That really hurt. But whatever. If you need help, Alana asked me anyway, so.
Well, it's really brave of you to sacrifice your body to help people, so.
It's kind of standing there on the staff now, looking back over to you. You seem to take a wallop too. Oh wait, no you didn't.
Yeah.
You seem to run from
Says
battle,
the guy
huh?
who was laying down unconscious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
You,
was trying to keep people alive. So.
It's alright. Hey, not all of us can be in the front row getting all the glory, right?
I want
All
to
yours.
beat this man down so much.
I love Sirkar so much. I mean, unless you want to spar right now, see what you have.
No, I'm good. But I look forward to seeing a monument built after you.
Oh, I'm sure there will be.
That thing's gonna be so defiled with graffiti.
I mean, you know I'm second in charge. I'm gonna be taking over for my dad anyway. Monuments and him.
Where am I right now?
You're making laps with a knife.
Dang it!
And he kind of looks over a little bit, making sure no one's around. He goes, "Look, kid, you might put your head in a book. Doesn't stop a sword going through your chest if you're not careful.
Mhm.
I know what you are."
What's that supposed to mean?
Just says, "Watch your back." And he goes back to twirling his staff.
Are you threatening me?
I didn't hear threaten. I don't know what you're talking about. I just trying to give you a special, a careful tip. I like you, kid. Don't want anything to happen to you.
I want to punch him so bad.
And he's like, still going through his motions.
wanted-
He's almost back to you. He's not really giving you any time of day at this point. He's just kind of going through his motions and doing thrusts and at this point showing off a little bit.
Okay. I'll just turn and start walking away.
I'm gonna shove that stick where the sun don't shine. Mark
You
my
don't know
words.
what happened, Meikai.
No, I don't.
All right. Do you all want to have anything specific that you want to go over in this? I just imagine you guys are focusing on this. We'll typically end now. If you guys want to go a little bit longer, we can. But I don't have anything specifically planned for this session, unless you guys.
I mean,
How far were you thinking of? Like, is it going throughout the day, or just mostly like class is? You know.
All throughout the day. I mean, whatever you guys want to get done, it's fine. That's what I was saying. If there's things you want to get done and you want to get through in this session, we can,
okay.
and we can go to about 10:30. Or if you want to have this roll over into the next session, we can. It's fine. But I'm trying to balance this into letting you guys do stuff while also possibly getting into a time skip here soon. So
yeah, I did have
but
one
there's a lot
thing
of
I was
stuff you guys
thinking of
wanted to
doing,
do.
but it'd be after training and all that
Sure.
stuff. So if
Yeah.
someone has stuff beforehand, they can.
If there's anything specific during training you guys want to do besides kick Sarkar's ass?
besides that, I think just kind of watching everybody who's here and like watching their moves. I mean, what better way to learn what people can do than to watch them train and spar with them too.
Give me a perception check. See how well you are able to pick up on people's sparring abilities and stuff.
Yeah. And is this while I'm running?
This would be after. This would be like after you guys are.
Oh, okay.
You guys are stretching and doing like more workout stuff. And now like he's
Yeah, it was just a 10.
10. You're really focused on Eli. He's like walking back over. This look, I understand you like to use this dagger. It's tuck in your elbows a little more. Plant this foot behind you, and it's almost correcting your stance so much that you're like, excuse me, I don't need to be corrected, or like that you lose focus from other people because you keep on getting like corrected by him. But he's kind of walking through everyone, and he puts like Anais and Zachary together because they seem to be the ones that won't hurt each other the most. And
I think he left.
Oh, that's. Oh, did
Yeah,
you
he
leave?
didn't even
Oh,
say
you
that.
left. Okay. So did you?
I'm
Are you
somewhere
not?
else.
Okay. So yeah, he'd partner you and Anais up together then, and kind of be showing you just different weapons and trying to figure out what you're familiar with, and you guys have a familiar one, different move sets, and then probably partnering up the trio of Ergon, Kahu, and Sarkar for different maneuvers. And it's less of a fight, but more going through advanced techniques, and if someone does this and you do this, and you guys are kind of going through the motions with it and things like that.
Does Sans have a tail?
Yes, he does.
Oh. We don't
I
have to
step
talk
on
this out. But no, I wanted to just ask if like there's more stuff that I can do to like, because it's a balancing tool, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And to help, and just to ask what he does with his and blah 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 blah, that kind of stuff.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
I know a little bit, but I want to see like his.
yeah. So he pulls you off to the side when you ask him that, and you guys have a specific lesson talking about the movement of the tail and how it affects battle, and how to not step on it or have it be like a hinder to you, but more or less to keep it also as a tool of distraction for your enemies. Ways that like, and he's like kind of like does a twirl and has the tail kind of smack you across the face before switching directions with the spear and hitting you behind in the leg, like just like showing you can do many misdirections. You see a tail coming this way, everyone's going to flinch. You have to be careful for that. So many different aspects. Or if you need to hide it in places you don't want to be well known as Tabaxi or Tiefling as Wish, you can hide it as much. And he shows you different ways that he's handled it and stuff. And you can see it's beaded, and the end of his tail is actually wrapped in some blue almost like ceremonial ribbon and some beads that are like threaded into it. So it kind of has like almost a rattle and a distraction to it that you see. Like his motions are very smooth, but when he goes, he's quick into it. So, very similar to your style, but just culturally different.
Yeah, I culturally, if we're in battle, we use a little bit, but generally we always try to tuck them away. So I was just curious. Thank you.
But of course. As you're speaking, he does, and throughout all of this, as you guys are, physically working on your fighting skills and things like this. Garrick comes in and he's like talking to him about, you know, I'm just running real low on materials lately, and that specific poison you're talking about on the daggers, I mean, we're out of that plant too, the nightshade. So, I mean, if you're gonna need more, and if you're interested in me incorporating that, you're gonna need to find some nightshade. So, that's amazing. Oh my god, that's the best emote combo ever. Oh my god. Yes, that just broke me. Oh my god. Anyways, so you guys pick up as well that Eli is looking for nightshade, which can be found in the neighboring areas of Rosewood as well. So in case anybody wants to have some sort of poison based thing or anything, or to work with him, those are little side quests that are building up here to help out in Rosewood. So help find nightshade for him. There's the quarry to find materials for weapons. There is talking to the New Organia guards for the farmers are having some sort of issue, and possibly some threads in Rosewood as well. And then also the water temple up in the mountain. So you guys have like 4 or 5 different threads that, as we time skip, you can be like, hey, we'd like to focus on this, and we can find a time to put that in before we end the month. Stuff like that. So that's part of this as well, like the time skips. Like you guys as a group can choose, hey, we'd like to focus on this.
Mike's frozen for me.
He is frozen.
Oh no.
What's happening?
Bye, Mike.
Yeah,
So
stop.
Makai's gonna go kick Sark
Do whatever
Creed's.
we want.
Oh no.
Yeah, Makai's gonna go off and just meta game and just go kick Sark Creed's butt because he deserves it. I hope you guys enjoy this.
Am I still frozen?
Here we go. Let's roll some dice.
Let's
Can't
go.
stop
no.
us.
Oh
He can
no,
see
it's
us
a
on
natural
stream.
Okay.
He can see us on stream. He's moving on stream, but his box is moving to Discord. Oh, no.
I
Uh-oh.
am confused.
What
Hold
the
on.
heck?
Can't hear.
Mikey.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
That was weird.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm right here, y'all. I can hear you. What are you guys talking about? Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
he's
frozen.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
You lost it on the stream though.
Okay, cool. All right, perfect.
There we go.
All right, yeah.
Um,
So you guys wrap up.
Yeah,
anything else you
I
wanna do?
think. I mean, train with Anais, train with Kahu, if we can, and
Yeah, of course. Like I
Um,
said, a lot of this stuff is just like sacred brevity. Like, yeah, like, we can say we do it. But if there's
Right, yeah.
anything specific that you need to have a scene for, let me know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and play for the moon
Yeah, is that what you're doing?
at the end of the day.
end of the
Yeah.
Specifically for
Yeah,
the
and
moon, or
I'm-
just? Okay.
And then, I mean, yeah, I'm about the spot where I'm okay for me to just go into the next phase of things.
Yeah. Okay.
But one thing I was gonna do is, I believe you mentioned up on that plateau area, there was like an old, like beat up, ran down school thing.
Mhm.
I want to start trying to repair and clean that.
Okay. Sure. Do you tell anybody about it, or are you just grabbing supplies? Are you doing it? What's up?
I'm just gonna start doing it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Makai, you can go to your spot and continue playing out in the woods to the animals and the moon. Yeah, it's sunny out, and Kaho, you go back up to the temple area and start slowly pulling out the weeds and cleaning up the destruction of that building there. And it'll take some time to rebuild it. Zachary, what are you up to?
So my plan is to probably go and read some more of the books that I already have on hand.
Okay.
Just any questions I might have, I'll write them down and plan
Okay.
to take it to whatever appropriate person there is for that.
Mhm.
And then my plan would be at night, when it gets dark, I want to sneak over to the training grounds and look to see that no one's there, and then I want to practice shooting firebolts at one of the test dummies.
Do you have
Yay.
anybody's picture in mind at the target that you're shooting these at?
So great.
No, I'm not at that point where I'm picturing
Okay.
his face. Or
Cool.
anything.
All right. Perfect. Yeah, you do that. Nice. You said you wanted to do something.
Yeah. So yeah, for most of the day, I probably would have tried to train, physically, and we don't have to roleplay it. Probably checked in with Bry, see if he's okay. Does he seem frazzled still?
He actually.
That's not the thing I want to do, but
Sure. He actually doesn't. He seemed very much back in his charismatic mood and talking to Sasha and a few other people, Joarston, about arcane things, talking about their own powers, and he's actually in the middle of almost like his own discourse with them as well.
Oh, cool. So he's in his element.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's loving it.
So after so it's funny you say that you're up there, Kahu. After the kind of big training stuff, I probably would have gone to find Zach somewhere. I'm sure this would be before you snuck out, Zach.
Okay.
But I
Yeah.
don't know where you'd be.
I'd probably be in my room then.
Okay. So I'd find if I would probably check there at some point, and then I'd get to go in there and read. Let's knock on the door.
You open it.
And you see a note already written, and it says, "You're looking for research stuff, right? I found a really old thing on the cliff, and it matches. There's a tile that matches the symbol of that one book you were reading a couple days ago."
Oh. Can you show me?
She nods.
Okay.
And like as she'll like start walking and like leading you up this cliff or whatever, and she'll kind of like right as she goes, it's probably sloppy now because it's like uneven ground, but she says it has all the other symbols too, but it was buried, and I dug it out.
Buried? That's weird. Why would it be buried?
She writes old question mark.
Huh. Strange. You think they want to keep old stuff around rather than bury it, but
She writes maybe it's part of an older building that they didn't want anymore or something. I'm not
I
sure.
mean, usually you just deconstruct that instead of burying it, though. That's strange.
She writes, it seems more buried from dust blowing over it over time. But
Like it
maybe
was
not.
forgotten.
Forgotten.
Okay. Interesting.
So she like,
Well,
yeah, walks you up.
let's look at it.
Yeah. So we go to it.
Yeah. So you're finishing with armory. Okay. Yeah, Kahi, you've probably been up here about 30 minutes or so, just clearing vines and stuff as you hear crunch crunch behind you. I need all three of you guys to give me a perception check. I don't know. Will we have another cliffhanger tonight?
4.
I've been thinking about one.
To combined it's a 11. But I rolled a 4.
That's awesome.
9.
All right, Nice, you're the only one that barely can hear music floating over the wind. The rest of you guys don't hear anything. You just hear the wind.
Probably look around, but not really think
Can't
too
see
much of
anything.
it.
Just
Yeah.
sounds like someone's playing an instrument from over in the Centaurium area.
Doesn't seem too out of the ordinary.
You've heard
I
it
will
before.
Keep going.
But yeah, you guys head up there and you see Kahu clearing out this before you make it to the stonework. about halfway up past the tomb. As you guys see the Anais, as you pass by the tomb that was there, the rock that was closing it is broken in half from the lightning bolt. From how you guys left it. You can kind of like see in where it's still empty, and it's a little dark though. You can't quite see too much in, but yeah. So you keep on walking, and you find Kahu about 30 minutes in, ripping the vines and leaves off of the structure on a house. You're just walking past him. Are you saying anything?
Probably looks surprised to see him there.
I feel like my back's turned. as
Yeah,
you're
that's what I was gonna
walking
say.
up.
Are
Okay.
either one of you making it aware to Kahu that you're there, or is his perception check's pretty bad? You didn't hear anything.
Place further up? Okay. Yeah, we can keep going.
Kahu, you're inside, ripping through it, and
Yeah.
you don't hear anything.
He looks busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys make your way up to the top.
All right, we could say hi on the way down.
Okay, sounds good.
Anais, when you get up to the top, and the sun's starting to set, a twilight dawn hanging over the water in oranges and reds. The trees here are now starting to change, and especially up here are starting to fall off the trees. But the stonework is completely cleaned off. Almost looks like it's been washed clean. It almost looks new. And now you can see that on each of the tiles that circle this middle part, you can clearly see the very ancient looking old symbols. Like, you've seen symbols, like modern day symbols of them. These are very old versions of these symbols that are all in different types of gemstones that you didn't see before.
Oh, so I didn't notice them before?
Not the
There's,
gemstones.
like,
I
the-
mean,
Oh,
you saw
okay.
like you saw the runes in them, and they kind of like raised, but they
Yeah.
were covered in dirt, and you just
Yeah,
thought they
that
were
makes
part of the
sense.
stone.
Yeah, so her eyes probably get like really big, like, and she just like looks like she gets down on her knees and starts like looking at it.
And you can see in the middle a not as apparent but small little crack and black mark where the lightning bolt hit as well from your net there. What are you guys doing?
I mean, I'd look for the Solus one, because I'd probably be familiar with that, because my book is like super old too, that I was reading. So
When you're looking at it, it's more or less similar to the book that you're reading versus the modern day symbols that are around like the Centaurium.
Yeah, so
go
after
over
I'm
and
like
touch it
distracted, I point in the.
and just kind of trace the lines on it, on my finger.
Nothing happens.
What kind of stone is it?
Like underneath?
The gemstones? You said it was
Oh,
gemstones,
which gemstone this are? It's hard to tell which ones they are. You can give me investigation. Yours is a orangish looking one.
right? Okay. That is 19.
Okay. Let me just double check my knowledge base, make sure I'm telling you the right one.
Okay.
Yes, you are looking at an orange topaz creation. You guys want me to go through all of them for you? I'd be more than happy to.
Yeah, we would probably be
Sure.
very thoroughly examining.
Okay. Can someone write this down so I match these up
Yes.
correctly?
Yes.
We'll
So.
write this down as well.
And closer look, Anais, yours looks like the catstone, but it's a sapphire. The Lothai, the Earth one, is Peridot. Peridot. I don't know if I'm saying it right. You have the light looks almost like a crystalline. The moon is a blue zircon. The stars are an alexandrite. What am I missing? Oh, water is an aquamarine. I feel like I'm missing one. Sun.
And then and Solus is topaz.
Yes. Did I say everything? Sky.
1, 2,
5,
3,
6,
4,
7.
5, 6, 7.
Ocean.
Yeah.
Ocean.
Ocean
we
is
got
Oh,
water.
no, that
aquamarine.
was water.
Aquamarine.
Yeah, never mind.
Water and
Okay,
ocean
there
are
we
kind
go.
of like the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
that's...
There's only 7, though. There's the 7.
There's 7, and then the middle section for the ancient one is a ruby.
Ruby.
Oh, okay.
And there's like lines, the cracks in the stone that connect all of them to the
To
ancient
that.
one. The ruby.
Okay.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I'll
So
go over
after-
and touch the ancient one as well, and just kind of trace my fingers on it.
After we look at it for a minute, Anais shows you her book, and she had just written, I don't know if I was hallucinating, but the night of the storm, one of the symbols was making water go up, and then after you read it, like she like goes over to the thing, and then she goes like this.
It's going upwards? It's really weird.
Give me an Arcana check. Zachary.
That is 22.
22. When you touched the ruby, you felt a tingle of arcane.
A tingle?
Yeah, like you notice as you're touching it, like your fingers feel that same recognition or spark of magic as you've like touched something magical. And also with that, as she's talking about this, you haven't really seen water floating up, but you have seen very strange physics and gravity things happen around very strong arcane crystals. Your Celestia world is erased by different crystals. So around those you have seen varying things that potentially could answer that with that. It's not out of the realm, you just haven't really seen something specific like that before.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my homeland is raised up, so maybe it's something related to that. Like it's land up in the air, so. Crystals.
And she'll even point to like the symbol with the stone type of thing, and like kind of look like questioningly at it.
Like, are the stones made out of it? Are these the same stones that you're used to raise up? No, these aren't the same stones.
She just writes, a lot of Bryce's research has magic that has to do with stones. So I guess that makes sense.
I mean, I know the ruby there. It feels magical. Felt something weird when I was touching it.
I'll go over and touch it.
Arcana check.
Okay. Oh, 19.
Rock.
Okay, like tap with my fingernail.
Do I still feel it? I go over and touch it?
It seemed to, I mean, it's nothing like active, but it's just kind of like you recognized it as being arcane in nature.
Okay. Do I get the same sense from any of the other 7? If I go over and touch all those?
All of
They're
them.
all the same way? Okay. Yeah, this whole place is magical. I can feel it. I don't know, I can just sense it.
And I said, like, you can see things that would make sense that they're arcane, but you're just not tapping into it at the moment.
I don't like feel it. So I'm like, look like I'm really thinking, and then I like point to the little crack in the ground, and then I point to me and I go,
Like lightning? Lightning hit you? Are you okay? Oh wow.
And she writes, that's what started this whole thing for me.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah, that was
And
the
then
storm, wasn't it? So
she writes, so maybe that makes sense, it would be magical, I suppose.
yeah, this place must be special.
And she writes, I wonder why. You're right then, I wonder why they would forget about it. This seems really important and valuable. And then she like points back to like the really fancy stones.
When I was at the temple, did I feel any sort of sensations there, or is it
You
just
weren't
here?
actively looking. Or you're not quite sure.
Okay, maybe I'll have to go check out the temple and see if I feel anything there, or the garden.
What's your
She points, like,
passive
down.
arcane?
Passive arcane.
What's 10 plus your arcane ability?
Do I add my proficiency in it still?
Yeah, if you're proficient, yeah.
Okay, be 14 then.
Yeah, you'd have to actively look.
Okay, yeah, I'll go look maybe. If you want, you can come with me. But
She nods.
I don't know. Maybe we can see if any place else is like that here.
She writes, that's probably a good idea. I don't know if this was helpful for you, but it just reminded me of your book.
Who cleaned this? Did you clean this? You said it was all covered.
Kahu, you
She
can
writes,
give me another
I
perception
dug
check.
it out. Yeah. She writes, I dug it out, but it wasn't this clean. And then she like points down like to Kahu because he was
Yeah,
he was
is
down
it
there
here?
digging vines.
Is
Huh?
it high
11.
there, or is it how far away are we from?
What'd you
him?
get?
11.
11. You can hear now, like, people talking, or one person talking up on the cliff.
How far away are we from him?
60, 70 feet. Just kind of,
So it's pretty far.
it's pretty far. It's just kind of carrying on the wind, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty quiet here before. So.
Kind of in my own head at the moment, really, just kind of working away.
So somebody came up here and cleaned it, or maybe it's magic cleaning. I don't know.
Maybe.
Oh wow, that's weird.
She
Tell my
writes,
chosen, get everything cleaned for you.
yeah. Maybe it's my power. She writes, you're trying to find out things about Solus because you get your power from him?
I don't know if I get my power from Solus. Just I feel maybe there's a connection there. I don't know.
Why? What's it?
I think I told you I hear of some voices, right? Well, I mean, there's two voices I hear besides the bad one, and Solus is supposed to be like a duo.
So she puts up 1, 2, 3 in your head.
Yeah, 3 have spoken to me. Two
Sure,
nice,
that-
one not nice.
She writes, that sounds confusing. I thought 2 was a lot for me.
You have 2 then. Okay. Yeah, well, I think it's just with how Solus is. As far as I know, I think Solus is the only duo. Correct?
What was that?
Solus is the only duo that I know of from my studies.
That you know of, yes.
Okay. So I don't know. It could be something else, but I don't know.
Okay, let me take that back. You are hearing 2 different voices. You've not found anywhere in your knowledge that they are a duo.
You said I did find that.
That Solus has a twin.
Yeah, like a duo twinness thing,
No,
right?
he has a twin.
Okay.
You are hearing in your head a duo-ness of Solus.
Okay. How is that different?
So you have not found anything in your knowledge base that says anything that Solus is a duo body.
Oh. Okay.
It is written that he has a twin with the light affinity Istari.
Okay. Then I must have misunderstood something you said in the past then.
Possibly, yeah. In your head, both have been speaking to you. A male voice and a female voice, and you attribute it to Solus. And then there's the evil voice. So
Okay, so if Astari and Solus are twins, would it be reasonable to think that it's those two talking to me then?
potentially.
Okay.
If you want to make that connection as your character, yeah.
Okay.
But
Just it fits. It logically fits.
Logically fits, but there's nothing
Okay.
that you have found or have been told to you that says that.
Okay.
Yes.
So he has no idea then. He just is making things up. Okay.
Not
So
necessarily
she was-
making things up, it's trying to make sense of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. You could certainly believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, so she'll just write, so you're just trying to figure out who it is and what they
No.
want. Do they
Okay.
always talk to you?
No. I don't know why they're doing it, honestly, except for the bad one, of course. So
Well, she writes, well, you're not crazy.
we'll see.
And then she writes, unless you think I'm crazy.
I don't think so.
Then you're not.
Well, thanks for showing me this place.
Is there anything
Yeah,
else
she
you guys
was
do?
nice.
Or you guys heading back down? Or you saying anything to Kahu?
We can wave to him as we go back.
Wave you up. Goodbye.
Give me another perception check.
$11.
He is so involved with this thing. You like a few moments later, you turn around, no one's there, and you go right back into cleaning the thing.
Too busy.
Yep. So the rest of you guys are heading to bed or playing to the moon, and nice getting settled in. Are the three of you guys going back to bed as Mark is quietly, secretly getting out to go do his own training?
Yeah.
Zachary, as you're in the middle of training, the torchlight flickers a little bit, and as you look over, there's Sasha standing there. I have something to show you, Zachary. Come with me. And she turns and walks away. Do you follow?
Yeah. I'm a little surprised that she found me here, but
All right. And that's where we'll pick up next session. Not quite a cliffhanger, but a cliffhanger. As we will jump back into the session with Zachary and Sasha at the beginning of next session. So, thank you guys, everyone, for the delay and the patience. That was my fault for starting late, and we went a little later tonight, too. Wanted to allow my players to get a chance to unwind a little bit about everything going on. So thank you again so much. We're going to go ahead and do a quick raid. As our friend, Creepy Black Dude, is doing his 5 nights of Valhalla. So we're going to jump over and give him a quick raid of love and fun from our group. He's been building a house in our server as well that we'll be playing in. So I'll be playing that Saturday. So with some Valhalla, if anyone wants to hang out. We have Mark, you doing it tomorrow? This week? Okay.
So tomorrow.
Yeah, Marquee Gaming tomorrow evening. And then we have Beacon's Aura coming back on this Sunday, right? I know there's like weekends we're missing. I'm like, my whole schedule's way off. So yes, and then remember next week, Fates United starts 1 hour later at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it's not gonna be my fault unless I forget my headphones again. So it'll be fine. So thank you guys so much for joining. We love all of you. Thank you so much for the active chat. You guys are hilarious and make us break character all the time. So again, a special shout out to Nelson and Ruined Keep for the gifted subs tonight. You guys are my VIPs, and thank you so much. I love you guys all. So we'll go raid, give Creepy some love and attention and some fun chat. And I'll see you guys next week or later this week. Bye. And